in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. Because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on your YouTube machine Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. It is I Told You So Wednesday. Again, Jake, what did I Told You So when?
Yeah, I mean, it's I Told You So every day on this show, and, you know, we're an SEC show, and, you know, we just have, we have things to live up to on the program. Obviously.
You got nothing on the shirt today. Jimmy Jack over here is all black. I got a design on. Where's all the fuchsia love for me?
Ain't no fuchsia love for you.
Ain't no love for you.
No.
The Monty Show, as always, presented by our friends at The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, reminding you it's the 100 deadliest days of the year. Please be careful on your bicycles. Please be careful on your motorcycles. It makes me nervous. I talk about it on the show a lot. My wife is somebody that frequently rides her, she has a bicycle. She trains for like triathlons, and she's doing a long ride this weekend, and it makes me incredibly nervous. And I just ask you, when you're driving your cars, the Advocates remind you, look out for all our people on two wheels, our bicyclists, our motorcycle riders. I understand things happen quickly. If the worst happens, be prepared. TheAdvocates.com are ready to serve you. Get clear, risk-free advice. If you're looking for an injury attorney, generally it's one of the worst days of your life, right? I mean, think about, what do you need an injury attorney for? A car accident, motorcycle accident, you got hurt at work, you got attacked by your neighbor's dog, you slipped and fell at the grocery store. It's not a good thing. The Advocates understand that. That's why they act with empathy, understanding, and a dogged fight to get you what you deserve, because insurance companies are not trying to pay you every penny. That's why you go to the Advocates. Hand them the claims process. Hand them the litigation process. Let them get you everything you deserve. You didn't deserve to be injured in an accident. You do deserve an advocate at theadvocates.com. And the best part is, it never costs you a penny out of pocket. You have no risk to talk to an injury attorney 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Let's get some shout outs going to start the show. Mountain Mama.
Hey,
Mike Smith.
Mike
Mike lives rent-free in the Monty household, because every time we hear the John Denver song, West Virginia, Mountain Michael. Mike, good to see you. Yes, please hit the like button. Welcome to the nightmare. Hello, Monty and Jakey Two Shakes. Happy 21 times a day.
Hey, let's go.
21 times a month day, guys. Hey, listen, you want that prostate to be healthy?
Dude.
You got to clear the pipe 21 times a month. Right? Hey, can't love yourself. Who can you love? Hit the like button, everybody. Hello, Sergeant Moore. Nice hairline, Ryan. Hey, Monty. Who's ready to see the Jazz draft Igor Demon number 5 overall tonight? How are Jazz fans generally
Pissed?
the most pissed off fans in the NBA? I think probably.
Let's see. Pissed, disenfranchised, mistrusting, little brother syndrome, tinfoil hat guy about the draft, resigned to the fact that your owner is selfish and is never going to spend money.
Would you be happy as a Jazz fan if they drafted Igor Demon? I mean, he's
Monty
middle of the
went to
first round.
BYU. He's a hometown kid. Only
Hey,
he's not.
Monty, he went to BYU. I don't know that you would be happy about that. Now, and I know it's crazy, with Ace Bailey now falling out of the top 5, if you're the Jazz and you're on your perennial, never-ending search for a point guard to replace John Stockton, do you go point guard with like Jeremiah Fears, or do you dare go forward, power forward, shooting forward, Ace Bailey, Rutgers immaturity? Would you dare draft Ace Bailey at number 5? Ooh.
Not in Salt Lake, dude.
Come
on.
I don't know. I mean, the guy's he's a freak of an athlete. He's got great size. What did he shoot? 38% from 3. Like, the guy's everything you want in an NBA, like profile. I think it's going to be fascinating. I truly think it's going to be fascinating. TJ back. TJ, stop sending me toilet paper in the emails.
Oh, shit.
I happen to check my email occasionally. And TJ will be like, oh, here's the latest from John Canzano. And it's like, okay. John Canzano continues to tell people UNLV is going to the Pac-12.
Google me.
And listen,
help me.
How would that happen? Who's paying for that?
Who
is paying for that? Not UNLV. Tarleton and Oak State James. Oh God. Guys.
Selectively aggressive.
Hey guys.
Guys.
Tarleton and Oak State James are in talks for his very own reserved parking spot for his Honda Civic. Wow.
Bro.
Where did that come from?
Apologize to that man.
Guys. Texas State already has his reserved. And who's been banned today already? I don't know. Has anybody been banned today? Has anybody been banned today? I haven't even fired up nobody's been banned today, which is good.
Okay, good. We're what are we, like 3 minutes in? 9 minutes in, same thing.
Same thing. It's in there. Oak State James. Cute. I'm having dinner with my parents in Florida. I'll be back in an hour or so.
You do have this knack, but just annoying the living hell out of me.
Welcome to
James,
Flowery Doc.
Don't have to be salty. It's okay.
It's okay.
You're
Joseph
a
Harper
on the show.
Hey, Monty and Jake, did you guys hear about Cattell Marte incident at U.S. Cellular
rough,
shithole? Yeah, I did. Cattell Marte was crying on the mound during a pitching change because of some really heinous things that loser White Sox fans said to him. And that fan's been banned for life from the ballpark. Congratulations. That's great. It doesn't fix it. Okay, who was the first to be filtered today? Nobody yet. Love Muscle. Hello from the Frank Church wilderness of Idaho. Hello, Idaho. Love Idaho. Great golf in Idaho. Great golf. Jeremy Bolton. Excuse me. Hey, excuse me.
Yeah, any thoughts?
I told you I'd return, and I told you Alex Caruso would get busted again.
Come on.
Are you
Dude's
not
a champ again?
Are you not? And not only is he a champ, he was one of their most important players, shooting the lights out from 3. And yeah, I'm sure that if you're Alex Caruso, you're probably blazing some lettuce.
How could you not be?
I mean, you're not
SGA on Good Morning America having trouble talking, but you had your fun.
I think the greatest thing that I've seen from Alex Caruso, and this might be the biggest stroke of thyself for 21 times a month. This might be the great, what would Jim Rome say? This is the best self-gloss I've ever seen.
Honestly, I'd start stroking, guys.
Did you guys see what Alex Caruso showed up at the celebration wearing? It's a t-shirt of Mount Rushmore with his head in every position. And I say, goddamn right.
What's on the necklace?
That's right.
Yeah. What's on the necklace, dude? The Lakers ring that he won before.
I think it's amazing. Alex Caruso we should all be so lucky to live that life, dude, because He is a pimp in every sense of the word. And I think if I'm Alex Caruso, I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
how are you not talking junk, dude? How are you not?
He's got 2 rings.
Yeah.
He's got a fat blunt back at the crib, and he's got a ring that says LA Lakers World Champions on it. And it is, I will say, the Caruso, the year that the Lakers won the championship in the bubble, and that ring, that thing is, look at that ring.
Yeah.
You want to win a ring, you want to be a Laker when you win a ring, because they don't trust me.
Has he entered one of the best role players of all time yet?
Oh, certainly. Certainly, because he's arguably the best defensive player on the ball. But the guy is just a pimp. Jeremy Bolton, good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Hope you and the Fam Bam are well. Austin Ainge has the green light to draft Igor Demon by any means necessary. Hashtag Tusks up, bitches.
Okay.
Is that not one of the most uncomfortable hashtags?
Dude.
Tusks
up.
Come on, man.
Hiscock.
You guys turn Pac-12 lovers? Well, you know me.
Yeah, man. Wow.
You know me.
Just all over it.
Ryan Smith says, bro, what are you? I prefer my bicycle with no seat. Is this just going to be the show we're going to have today? Is that what this is? It could be Jeremiah Champion. Dude. How's your summer vacay? Another day of Pac-12 derangement talk. Mike Smith, great voice. Okay. Brandon Big Pontiff Butler at 21. Yes. At 5, I would be looking for a new team.
Damn.
Right? That would be wild. That would be crazy. Lopes Van Gabe, hello. Hit the like button. Yes, please do that. Jeremiah Champion. They don't have cake money.
Oh, and there it is, dude.
Ain't got no cake money, boy. Hey, are you guys going to sign Cooper Flag? Nah, we ain't got no cake money.
Hey, look here, man.
Now we can't chip in for some cake, you know?
Oh, man. Welcome to the nightmare for $2. Did James rent out an IPF for this for the special occasion?
Yeah, boy.
Oh, I love it. Jeremy Bolton, the mayor of Montytown, by the way. Most important player, quote unquote. He can blaze the lettuce all he wants. Just learn how to hide that S properly. Yeah. And don't bring it to the airport, dummy.
Yeah, can we avoid that, please?
Alex Caruso, you guys might remember. I believe he brought a sack of weed through a TSA checkpoint and got arrested.
Pause, bro. Pause.
Could happen to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an accident.
I don't smoke weed, so it probably can't happen to me. McCluskey, you're never going to let that go. So you guys might not know this. Jeremy Bolton is the mayor of Montytown. We love that guy. He's one of our best listeners, longest in time, not in like
stay home.
Okay. Yeah, not in
this man was a bona fide scrub.
Yeah, he's our 2-inch daddy. Anyway, the point is,
whoa, look, Donnie, chill out, dude.
The point is,
chill out.
Jeremy Bolton, Alex Caruso was such a thing. Back in the day, Jeremy Bolton's kids bought him a Caruso Chicago Bulls jersey and a headband. Like it's amazing.
Didn't he show up to a remote with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, was it the Big 5-0 birthday bash?
Might have been.
Or it was somewhere he showed up wearing it. Yeah. Remember that when we used to do like big events and yeah, I remember those days. Greg Hill, hello. Phil Benzer, James in Florida checking out the new stadium at Alligator Alcatraz.
Okay. All right.
It's James.
There's so much good material.
Oak State James catches strays more than any other listener of this show.
So I
mean, put on some flack. Jeremiah Champion, 14 minutes in and I'm already dying of laughter. It's been a good start.
Texas me.
Gumby says breaking news.
Wow, nice.
Exactly right. David Persons, who does the Pac-12 get for members 9 and 10 so they can become a stable conference instead of just an official one?
Why are you trying to talk like actual sports, dude? Like, come on.
John Crotty. I'd take John Crotty over Caruso 7 days a week.
Get the hell out of here.
God, I love it. I showed up at GNC and you clowns actually put me on the mic. That's right. No, it was Max Muscle. He showed up at Max Muscle.
Get it right, you clown.
Oh, that was
Max
amazing.
Muscle, okay?
That was amazing. JB's live appearance at the supplement store remote where y'all were blinded by the sun was goated. Yeah, do you guys remember that?
Oh, man.
It was so hot in that store.
Yeah.
We were giving away lottery tickets. We
F
just
around and
decided,
find out.
on a whim, we just decided, hey, you know what? I think the lottery was like 900 million.
It was like a bill.
Because in Utah, we're not allowed to play the lottery. So if you say, hey, meet us here, we'll give you a free lottery ticket.
Morty.
People will sell their daughters to get one. We did it. We bought like $100 in lotto tickets and we had a great remote. Like a bunch of people showed up. It was a lot of fun. TJ Beck, I went over to the rectory. James had been there. Empty again. Damn it, James.
Dude.
Another rectory bomb, which is different than a rectum bomb.
Hugh Janus.
Right? Like that's very different. It's a different kind of show. Lottery tickets. I wish I could win the lottery. Hockey or basketball and see what happened.
Yeah, Adam Silver has his own thoughts.
Yeah, I would agree. The rectory, exactly right. The rectory. All right, let's get to work on the Monty Show. I know you guys are here to talk sports, unfortunately. So it is I Told You So Wednesday. And on this show, we are humble presenters of truth.
Yeah, I mean, we would never, say I told you so.
Ever.
That's just not really in the culture of the show. I mean, come on.
But as I told you, Texas State is going to get an invite to the Pac-12, and Pac-12 fans are like, oh, where's the invite, Monty? Told you, you idiot. Trust me, bro. Well, as I've told you for a week now, they're on the verge of getting an invite, and it was going to be this week. I went back this morning, went through our show. I said it 3 times last week, once on Monday. Texas State is going to get an invite to the Pac-12 this week. And it's because now that Pete Thamel, who clearly listens to the show, is trying to steal my thunder. Now Pete Thamel and everybody else is reporting, oh my God, Texas State is getting an invite to the Pac-12 this week. I know. It's shocking. And it's because on July 1st, the 2026 exit fee for Texas State doubles to $10 million. So it was always going to be this week. But here's the main question and the main point that I think is very important in these discussions. What does Texas State do for the Pac-12? And is this significant enough with Texas State where the Pac-12 becomes a major player in the G5 universe? I don't know that Texas State has any impact on that. Texas State has a fine football program, frankly, a very good athletic program. I think the Pac-12, from a football standpoint, certainly, is arguably the best G5 in the country the minute that they kick off. Now, you got to go out and win games, and you got to figure out who your second best football team is going to be, because I have no doubt that Boise State's the best team in that conference. That's not breaking news. I think we all recognize that. The question that I have is, now you get Texas State, what's next for the Pac-12? Does this mean that you sign a larger media rights deal? It does not. Does this mean that all of a sudden everybody's making more money because Texas State's in the league? It does not. What it means is you've met the minimum bar. You are now a fully formed conference, and you can go on about the business of building the Pac-12. I'm not picking on Texas State. I know Texas State fans, really Pac-12 fans on the whole, have a very short temper about it, but Texas State, while it's important and their value is making this conference whole, Jake, I just don't see that Texas State is a difference maker when it comes to who's the best G5 conference.
No, absolutely not. And I think Texas State has one sole purpose, and that's helping the Pac-12 round out its conference. That's it. You're just trying to get back to full status as a conference and full legitimacy. And Texas State helps you do that. Now, I agree that having a presence in the state of Texas definitely helps with recruiting on some level. But all this nonsense about, Texas State fans travel and they'll fill up other people's buildings, that's all BS. That's not happening. And to me, I look at this and I say, this is nothing more than the Pac-12 going through the process and adding who's available to them, honestly, because, ultimately you look around the landscape and there's not like a ton of schools available in realignment. UNLV is not available to you. You tried to go after UTEP. That didn't quite work out for you, right? And then now, obviously, you've pivoted to Texas State and you lost out on NIU and you don't want Sacramento State. So to me, I sit here and I say, bro, this is nothing more than, hey, we needed to add another member. This is the one we can add. And I think that anybody telling you that Texas State somehow makes this conference, like some juggernaut of a conference or something, you're just up in the night. The Bobcats are a nice little program, doing the best they can. I have no problem with them. My problem is with the people who exaggerate their value and want to make it seem like this school is some earth-shattering addition, because it's not. I think what the Pac-12's focus has to be is get Texas State added and then move on to rounding out your media rights deal. And then from there, let's see what the mediation brings. Because once again, and I told you so every single day on the Monty program, they still haven't finished mediation. And I think there's still a lot up in the air in terms of that conversation. So adding Texas State's all fine and dandy. That's great.
I agree.
No problem with it. But you have bigger things on the priority stack than Texas State's value.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important for the Pac-12, because I think, as I've said repeatedly for the last 10 days, I think you're going to get a wave of positive news from the Pac-12, and they need it. And I think they're moving in a very good direction. As I said, I think the CBS deal is a big win. Obviously, it's a bigger win when you put the rest of that media rights package together. But will they tell us how much their media rights value is? A lot of people have doubts about that. I think Texas State is an important add because it makes you a whole conference. You've got to stop with this piecemeal thing now. Now we need unequivocal wins in the Pac-12. That's what we need next. We need a fully formed media rights deal. I think expansion has to stop for now. I think unless it is Memphis, because I can't really think of another addition that you would make that would be game-changing. Memphis is a game changer. And if you get them as a football only, okay, now you're really cooking with gas, nothing to talk about.
Right.
But you can't add Sac State because they're not going to be available to you for a year after you launch the conference. So that doesn't really do much good for you. Like, this conference needs to stick and stay. This conference needs to stop litigating. This conference needs to get a fully formed media rights deal. And this conference, without question, has got to find a way to win a ton of football games so that they can get a team in the college football playoff. It is
that simple.
Without question, that has to be the priority. You just cannot continue to flounder. You cannot continue to make media rights deals, announce them, and not give dollar values behind them. Because that's not instilling confidence, if you will. I think it's really important that this conference get going with the business. I think this mediation thing, I think it is very, very interesting to see where this mediation goes. And who will there be a winner or loser? Probably not. I think at this point, the Mountain West and the Pac-12, nobody's going to win these lawsuits. It's got to be costing you a ton of money in legal fees alone. I just don't see how there's a winner.
Yeah.
But listen, I think if you're a Texas State fan, that's a good day. If you're a Pac-12 fan, I think, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, when the invite becomes official, because again, I've been telling you for how long Texas State is in, but when it becomes official, it's a good day to be Texas State, I guess, because I do not believe that Texas State on the regular is going to be able to compete with the best teams in this conference. I don't believe that Texas State, if you think about the football landscape in the new Pac-12, I don't believe that Texas State is better than Boise. I don't believe that Texas State is better than Utah State 2 years from now, because I'm a huge believer in Bronco Mendenhall. I think he is a stud.
Yeah.
I think they're moving in the right direction. Like, you start going up and down. I don't think Texas State's probably better than Colorado State. Are you a middle of the pack Pac-12 football team? That's not a great place to be.
Yeah, and I just think that this conversation on how good they're going to be in the conference is just, I mean, you can have that conversation, but really the conversation you should be having is yeah, it's a good day for Texas State. Great. You know, when that invite comes officially, you're going to join that conference. All right, great. Feel good about it. That's awesome. But I think what we do too often in this world now, politically, in college football, like we do this thing where we say, oh, well, something happened. This is amazing. Oh, yeah, awesome. Celebrate, without really thinking about, well, what does this really mean? And what actually does this do? And for me, that's written all over Texas State's forehead, if you will. Like, hey, you're being added so the conference can round itself out. And now let's see where you go from there. It's great for Texas State. I don't think it's amazing for the Pac-12. I think it's what they had to do. And I think if, you know, they could go back and do this over again, it'd be UNLV instead of Texas State. But they can't. So here we are.
I think we can all sit here and revise history. But I just don't believe, my opinion is, I don't believe that UNLV is going anywhere. I get worn out on this stuff. I understand it. People have to make content, and it is this never-ending conversation about realignment. And all of these people talking about UNLV is not going to the Pac-12. The financial mechanism does not exist for UNLV to do that. Never mind, they signed a long-form grant of rights with the Mountain West.
Right.
They're there. But alternatively to that, the Mountain West would have to evaporate for UNLV to leave that conference at this point. I think it's the only way it happens, unless they go to a P4. And I know, as I think we exclusively reported on this show 8 weeks ago now,
A while back,
UNLV and the Big 12 have had conversations. Why is this now the talking point on all these other podcasts? I have no idea. I've told you that. Why did Oregon State fans lose their minds a couple of weeks, a month ago, when I said Scott Barnes has had conversations with the Big 12 about Oregon State joining the Big 12 before he committed to the Pac-12 grant of rights, which they've now signed. I am told that the Pac-12 also has an out for a P4, much like the Mountain West does. So if UNLV wants to go to the Big 12, they can do that. If Oregon State wants to go to the Big 12, they can do that. Does the Big 12 want either one of those brands? I don't believe they do at this time. So we can sit here and we can forearm strengthen to, oh my God, UNLV is going to the Pac-12. At least be realistic about what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this to fans across all sports. Take your fandom out of it. Like, when you say, and I don't even know how many Texas State fans are here today, but when you say some stupid thing, and Texas State fans on this show, Jesus, I've lost count of the stupidity. But how long are we going to make jokes about Texas State being the 7th best football team? And take your emotion out of it. That's not a tip of the cap, dude. Right? Like, when you look at the Pac-12, take the win. If you're a fan of the Pac-12, if your university's in the Pac-12, take the win. You're whole. You're fine. You're going to be fine. But let's stop with UNLV's coming to the Pac-12. Show me how. Logically think that through. And nobody ever does, because they report this BS about UNLV going to the Big 12. How is that going to happen? But you don't ever get the, here's how it's going to happen, or because it's impossible at this moment. Like UNLV to the Pac-12, do you know how much money they're in? Let this sink in. The Mountain West and the Pac-12 are currently in mediation, trying to settle $100 billion lawsuits. And you're telling me UNLV and the Pac-12 are going to make a deal to go to the Pac-12 where it would cost how many tens of millions of dollars?
That you don't have.
That UNLV, I think UNLV has it. They can't afford to pay it because it's so much money to leave the Mountain West after you signed another grant of rights.
Yeah, I just don't know why you would. I don't think that. I think everyone wants to look at the money. Like, let's say that the way you've vocalized it is correct. They have it. They don't want to pay it. Whatever it is, you're not paying that money, dude. That's not. You're not doing that if you're UNLV. And I look at this and I say, like, ultimately, UNLV is a phenomenal brand. In what we've talked about so much on the show is that when the Pac-12 and I should rephrase that, when the leadership of this conference, set forth, like started their process to, put the plan together to poach teams, UNLV should have been a priority target. And it should have been them and Boise State. The problem is I don't personally believe, this is just my opinion, I don't personally believe that the Pac-2 at that time said, yep, those are the two schools. I think what they did is they said, hey, here's a collection of like 6 or 7 out of the Mountain West that we would like to get. And, that's going to be our goal. And the reason I say UNLV should have been your top school in that process is because of their market, right? Las Vegas is the heart of this thing. Las Vegas is the heartbeat of the Mountain West Conference in terms of market size and what you would do with TV partners. So it's always been incredible to me that you didn't go after them first. So now you're sitting here with Texas State, and yes, I agree with what he's saying that hey, they probably have the money, like UNLV probably has the money, but they're not trying to necessarily pay for that. Like I agree. But ultimately, the real issue here is that UNLV is committed to the Mountain West. So all these guys saying that like all these YouTubers and all this reporting of, oh, well, we're the Las Vegas Review-Journal or a newspaper in Vegas, a month ago saying that, UNLV would be interested in the Big 12. Of course they would be interested in the Big 12. Of course they would be interested in any power conference reaching out to them. They should be interested in that. And that's what's difficult, I think, with this realignment situation is that you have a school in UNLV who was right in the middle of this thing and chose their path, and yet here we are still talking about them changing conferences. And then on the other side, we've got Texas State guy in the comments section trying to say that Texas State is the 7th best school in Texas, which is just not true. This move and this deal serves one purpose, and that is to round out this conference. And when you look at it that way, you begin to understand that the Pac-12 is still operating the way it's always operated. You wouldn't be in this position if you had gotten UNLV and you had done it the right way. Because if you really think about it, if you take a second and think about this, if you were part of the Pac-2 and you were saying to yourself, hey, well, we got to reinvent this conference. We got to bring schools in. We got to bring brands in. Would you have half-assed that process? Would you have said, yeah, we're going to agree to this scheduling alliance, even though there's a bunch of poaching fees in it. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, and basically put ourselves in a position where we can't really do this without taking a massive financial hit. I know I wouldn't have done it that way. I know for a fact what I would have done is I would have said, okay, cool. We can talk about a scheduling alliance because frankly, they needed it. But much past that, I'm not agreeing to poaching fees. And I think that's where the first misstep happened. At that point, you then committed to a path that was inevitably going to cost you more money. So no, I don't think that this Texas State situation in Texas State, according to Thamel and according to us 6 weeks ago, joining the Pac-12, it's not some, foundational massive, addition. What it is it's an addition where you're rounding out your conference. So then that way you can go out and finish your media rights deal. And then from that standpoint, you can obviously finish with conference business. And that's what's hard for me as we go, through this is like, we get these comments and people are telling us, oh, Canzano said this and this dude said that. And most of it is just not true. It's just not. And yeah, Phil, I agree with you, dude. It's been a month of mediation. When will it be done? Yeah, I don't know when it'll be done, dude. I have no idea when these two are going to decide, hey, like, enough is enough. We're tired of paying lawyers. Enough is enough. We're tired of laying out costs for something that we really shouldn't have to be doing if you're the Mountain West. And for the Pac-12, we're tired of laying out costs for something that's just taking entirely too long. So I don't know when enough is enough. Like, I don't know when it'll be done, but what I do know is it's costing them loads of money, and that's just not ideal for anybody, Seth Hatmaker, another question. Did Pac-12 leadership do all of this to keep their jobs? I don't see how this was good for Oregon State and Washington State as reported. Well, I'm not saying, I don't think we reported that. Not that you're accusing us of that, but I think a lot of people tried to sell the idea that this was good for Washington State and Oregon State, or that, that this was going to bolster their opportunity. Let's wind the clocks back. What was the narrative around Oregon State and Washington State when the Pac-12 melted down? You guys remember in the comments section, right? What was everyone saying? Well, everyone was saying, hey, Oregon State basically got piped here because they were not able to get into the Big 12 with the four corner schools, right? You guys remember that? All the Oregon State fans saying we're burning our jerseys, screw the Big 12, like, you guys killed us. You guys remember all of that. So for me, I don't know if they did it, Seth, to keep their jobs per se. What I do know is when you're a D1 athletic department and institution, you're going to do everything you have to do to survive. And that's what this is. This is, Oregon State and Washington State getting together and saying, well, hey, we're Washington State. And at that time, Kirk Schultz, we're running a really financially poor ship at our university in terms of the athletic department. We can't really afford to not be in a conference and go independent, let's say. And Scott Barnes at Oregon State has always been one of the elite operators of the Pac-12 and just hasn't been able to get ahead of it, mainly because I don't think he was in the information loop the same way that Utah or any of these other schools that made the move was. So to me, I don't think they do anything to keep their jobs. I think what they do it to better their school and to get to a better opportunity. People don't want us to join, but needed us to join. We didn't need them. Well, frankly, dude, like, yeah, you didn't necessarily need the Pac-12. Like, I don't disagree with that, but you're really telling me that you don't feel like going to the Pac-12 is an upgrade for your school? I mean, come on, dude. It's clear. It is absolutely clear that this is an improvement for you. There's no question about it at all. JC, yes. Keep downplaying the Pac-12. You Gloria Navarro's homers. Okay, how are we Gloria Navarro's homers, JC? I would love to have the conversation with you, dude. I'd love to hear this out, because ultimately you're not going to be able to come into this comment section and explain how the Pac-12 has somehow got the upper hand in mediation. You're not going to be able to explain how the Pac-12 somehow is going to come out of this in anything but really tight financial parameters. There's just no way. Like, there's no way for them to come out of mediation and say, we're just flush with cash. There's no way that's happening. You didn't release numbers on your TV rights, your media rights with CBS, right? We still don't know how much that's worth. We don't know how much you're going to wind up paying in poaching fees and exit fees through mediation. Like, we're not Gloria Navarro's homers. I'm simply sitting here saying the math doesn't math, my guy. It's not a difficult thing to understand at all, even a little bit. Benny L. UNLV will cave. Give it time. It won't be the money. It will be the caliber of remaining teams in the Mountain West Conference. If they cave, there will probably be a merger of conferences. But think about it this way. Let's say that is true. I disagree with this, Benny, but let's say it's true. It's not the money. It's just that they don't have enough opportunity, basically. You're saying that the teams left in the Mountain West are not quality enough. Well, the reality of the situation is that ultimately, yeah, they're left with, the teams that they have. But what's the other side of the coin there? They're the top dog, right? They're one of the best brands in that conference. So why would they leave, right? They were already pushing to get in the CFP last year. If they had beaten Boise State in the conference championship game, they get in to the CFP. So I'm just sitting here saying, like, they have opportunity. There's no question about it. Patrick, the smart thing would have been for the Pac-12 and the Mountain West to merge. Too late for that now. Yeah, and why didn't they merge? Why didn't they merge? Well, they didn't merge because, in my opinion, the Pac-12 has a pride issue. The Pac-12 never wanted that. Again, going back to what I was just referencing before, the Pac-12 from the onset was not interested in merging. They were interested in getting the scheduling alliance done so then they can go and poach teams. They were never thinking, hey, well, if we do a scheduling alliance, then we can merge and rebrand the Pac-12. That apparently was not how they saw fit. So, it is what it is. What's up, Shouty? Hey, y'all. Monty is currently talking to somebody. That's why it's just on me right now. It sounds like he's almost done, but he'll be back shortly. Richard saying, I agree that Texas State isn't a brand that is going to move the needle on media evaluation. However, I think Texas State has the potential and the leadership in place to make a big leap in the next 10 years. Yeah. What's a big leap, though, right? I mean, Texas State is a school that is obviously going to get into the Pac-12 here sooner rather than later. But what's considered a big leap? That's what I have trouble with. Is like, does that mean they're going to win the conference? Does that mean that they're going to get to the college football playoff? I don't think anybody thinks that's happening. Welcome back.
Thank you. Very interesting phone call. We've been chasing a lot of information, and when the phone rings and it's somebody of significance, so I apologize for stepping away. Oh, look at me. Oh, Monty's trying to be okay. Whatever. I can already hear it. A very interesting source, very high up in the TV industry, is telling me about the Pac-12 deal. And I've been trying to get this conversation for some time. It is, from what I understand, the deal that they have with CBS now is very similar to the deal that the Mountain West had with CBS. And I am curious, and I want to be careful with this, but did the Pac-12 settle because they had nowhere else to go? So run with me here on this for a second. The timeline on this Pac-12 thing has been really interesting because it's taken forever, right? Like, I mean, we joke about J.D. Wicker on this show how often. It's taken forever. It was supposed to be last December. Then it was going to be March and April, and it turned out to be June. And from what I'm told directly, that deal at CBS is very similar to the deal that the Mountain West had, because it does make sense that the Mountain West had multiple football games on CBS every year. The Pac-12 has that same deal. The one significant difference in this deal, Boise State's now on CBS. And how many times on the show have I said Boise State's the draw in that league, right? I think we even talked about it last week. What did we say? Boise State football and Gonzaga basketball are the two big tickets in that league. Well, where's Boise State football been played? Well, on Fox, right? If you're a Boise State fan, you know that their games have been on Fox. Where has Gonzaga basketball been? Gonzaga basketball has been on Fox. So now you have those two entities are going to be on CBS. And my guess is you're going to see the bulk of those games on CBS for the Pac-12 are going to be Gonzaga basketball and Boise State football. That makes sense. But how much money is this deal worth? Because Boise State was getting $5 million a year from the Mountain West. In a what did they have? A 6-year, $270 million deal. Boise State got more money because you put Boise State on TV, tons of people watch, right? Okay, great. How much money are you getting per school? And not to tell you again, hey, we told you so Wednesday. How much money is Boise State taking above and beyond everybody else? Are you telling me they're getting $8-10 million? Because at what point does the move to the Pac-12 pay off? That is, and this person I was talking to made a really good point. Are you telling me you didn't announce this deal in full because you got a ton of money? No, if you'd have got a ton of money, you'd announce this deal in full. You'd have been like, hey, we signed a 5-year, $100 million deal or whatever the number is, right? But how much money is it going to take Boise to get every single year out of their media rights deal in the Pac-12 to make a move? And all the litigation they're going to have to pay and all the lawyers that as a conference they're going to have to pay. How much is it going to take for that deal to be worth it in the Pac-12? And the answer is, I don't know. I would have to believe that if they're only at is $7 million a year worth it? Because you're getting the same media rights deal with CBS that you had before. And again, my sources are telling me that it's CBS, the CW, and in one form or fashion, it's likely to be CBS or ESPN direct to consumer. But everybody's going to be on ESPN direct to consumer, as we have told you on this show multiple times. Our sources have told us, hey, everybody's going to get a crack. They're going to have a ton of college football on the ESPN app, the direct to consumer product.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big question. Number two, which I think is very interesting. This deal they signed with CBS is very similar to the deal they signed in the Mountain West that everybody in the Mountain West who left said was a terrible media rights deal and we've got to go get something better. Well, and I'm just asking for a friend, but are you telling me that if all of your games are CW and ESPN streaming, this is a better media rights deal than you had in the Mountain West?
Nope.
Because that doesn't seem like it. Because the CBS deal, and again, I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse. My guess is the Mountain West will be on CBS. We'll have a deal with CBS. And I know that's not breaking news. I've said that before on this show, but I think the Mountain West is going to remain with CBS. In what capacity and in what volume? I don't know. I have no idea. I would think before Mountain West Media Day, we'll have an idea of what their new media rights deal is. I would think here in a month and a half, because when is Mountain West Media Rights Day? Is in the middle of July.
Yeah, let me confirm.
I mean, I would think, but I'm telling you now, the Pac-12 has a long way to go on this media rights deal. And in talking to our sources,
July 16th and 17th.
July 16th and 17th.
Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas. That's going to be a really significant event. That's going to be a very, very, very big event. That is going to be really, really important.
Yeah, I still think the overreaching question, for anyone out there, a college football fan who cares about this situation, what did the Pac-12 promise? I'm still waiting. I'm still curious. Still want to know. What was the promise? What was the selling point? Because you don't have a way to justify getting more than the Mountain West, in my opinion. You just don't. You're a newer league. You're unproven. Yeah, you have brands, but those brands came right out of the Mountain West. So isn't your cap what the Mountain West was getting?
I'm just going to keep going back to what I said the other day. It's really odd to me we did not get a dollar value on the CBS deal. And it's because that deal, and again, what my sources are telling me, this is, and the people that we've talked to, and you can believe me or not, but we are right on this show a large amount of the time. I am telling you, multiple sources have told me the CBS dollar figure is not what the Pac-12 wanted, and they settled for that deal. And that CBS was only in this game because they wanted Boise State football.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally understand. Boise State football did nice numbers for CBS in the Mountain West. There's no question about that. But if you're the Pac-12 and you do a deal with CBS, and the Mountain West then has CBS in their media rights deal, because I don't think anybody's all in on one network. I have to believe that. Again, I'll tell you what I've said about the Pac-12. I think it's probably between 3 and 5 distribution partners. My guess is that the Mountain West is going to be in that same neighborhood, because you have to put a bunch of pieces together to make the value. Why didn't these two merge?
Because they're dumb.
Why didn't you
and
merge?
prideful.
If this deal costs you money, dude, you'll never admit it costs you money. But if you creating a new Pac-12 costs your constituents money, this is a huge mistake. And I maintain, And I'm going to rewind this and go back to what I was told and what I told you before. The people leaving the Mountain West don't hate the Mountain West, and we're open to merger. And I don't know why the Pac-12 is so dead set against it, because if Boise State left the Mountain West for a lateral financial move, I'd be stunned. And if they were getting $5.5 million in the Mountain West, and they only get 6 or 7 million in the Pac-12, that was a huge mistake. That was a huge mistake. I'm telling you, if it's not $9-10 million, this was a mistake, because you went through all of this to form a new conference that I understand Boise's going to dominate and should be one of the teams in position to go to the college football playoff every year, but you were already that in the Mountain West.
Right.
Just add Oregon State and Washington State to that, and let's go about our business. But here we are now with another source really well placed telling me, yeah, I'm not surprised, because I said, hey, are you surprised that they didn't put a number on that? No, I'm not surprised, because it's not the number they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sit here and tell you every day, the Pac-12 has to have good news. And this, I'm told that it's tomorrow. They have an agreement with Texas State that'll be announced tomorrow at the latest on Friday. That's good news. But what am I telling you again? Texas State is inconsequential in the financial picture of the Pac-12.
100%.
And if it truly is the CW for a wide variety of Pac-12 athletics, overflow football, and then you'll have a few on direct-to-consumer, this is not going to be the financial windfall that people were expecting.
Yeah, I just think, Pac-12 fan for sure, has always, and not just with this, but, has always, kind of exaggerated things. And I just think that I'm still waiting for a Pac-12 fan to explain to me how the Pac-12 is going to be in a strong financial position. You can't make the argument through mediation. You can't make the argument through your media rights deal. You certainly can't make the argument through the college football playoff. So, because you're not in position to have 2, 3, 4 teams go to the college football playoff. You're going to get one at best. So, I think that, I don't know. I feel like I say it every time we talk about the Pac-12 and their situation. I don't hate the Pac-12. I don't really have a dog in the fight. I'm looking at it saying, hey, there's not a lot of ways for the math to add up here that you're flush with cash and just thriving. And that's what concerns me.
And if you're the Mountain West, these new additions, especially in basketball, like you've got to find a way to continue to put multiple teams in the NCAA tournament every year. And you've got to find a way to, UNLV becomes a very important football program. NIU becomes a very important football program. Hawaii becomes a very important football program. Like, you've got to have this group of universities, UNR, this group that stayed together. You've got to have that group of universities come together like-minded in athletics. And it's what I've been talking about. Win every rep of football, win every dribble of the basketball, because I think it's going to be really important that the Mountain West does not become a one-bid league. And I don't think they will. I truly do not. I would hope, or I would assume, that the Pac-12 is a minimum of 3 teams, because Boise should get in every year. You would think Gonzaga's a rubber stamp into the NCAA tournament.
Certainly.
Right? San Diego State should be a rubber stamp into the NCAA tournament.
And to that end, again, I told you so Wednesday, they are going to expand the tournament, it looks like. So, to that end, you figure you probably got another spot or two there that, you could take advantage of.
Yeah. And I also think that, this is a crazy time. This is a crazy, crazy time. The Pac-12 has got to announce a full value TV deal in the near term. It's got to happen sooner than later. You cannot let the dead air overtake, hey, we did a deal with CBS. Because I was just told, well, it was a foregone conclusion that CBS, wanted West Coast. And I think that's correct. I think we talked about that. But you're not going to have the lion's share of your stuff on CBS. It's going to be I feel like they got the Mountain West CBS deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think CBS is going to do a deal with the Mountain West. And I don't know that much is going to change, honestly. Who's going to make the money? Is the CW? What is the net? At the end of the day, what's the net on the CW deal? And what is ESPN paying to put you on their direct-to-consumer app?
Right.
Because I think those are all very good points. Very good questions. I think the Pac-12 is running uphill here. I mean, San Diego State football has to improve. If San Diego State football can get anywhere near Boise State on the field, this conference is exponentially better. You do not have a major TV market. Your biggest TV market is, in my opinion, your biggest TV market very clearly is Boise in that conference for football. And your biggest brand is probably Gonzaga basketball.
Totally agree.
I just think this is a very important conversation, in my opinion. Let's come back and reset it, because I also want to talk about this Mountain West Pac-12 mediation. Just a whole lot. We'll talk Pac-12, Mountain West after this from the Advocates.
You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the Advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
Indeed, you do. The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. I tell you every single day. Watch out for people on bicycles. If you're riding a bike and you get hit by a car, it's one of the worst accidents you can ever have, because you just don't stand a chance. Make sure you work with somebody, I don't know, like the Advocates, who have fought for people on two wheels for years and won cases and made sure they were whole. That's what you need. Somebody with a track record who knows how to navigate the waters of a legal process, of a claims process, because your insurance company is not going to fight for you. That's why you go to the Advocates, where you never pay a penny out of pocket. In fact, you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Chat with an injury attorney live online, and it won't cost you a dime. 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. All right, let's reset this whole thing, because I think this is a big deal. So in talking to sources, and I'm actually texting with another source right now on all things Pac-12 Mountain West, I am told in a Monty Show exclusive that mediation has taken so long because there have been significant scheduling conflicts around mediation, and getting the different groups together has been difficult because the mediator in this case apparently has been away, has been off on vacation or away from the process for a significant amount of this time, and trying to get the Mountain West, the Pac-12, and the exiting members. Those are three different legal groups, by the way, the Mountain West, the Pac-12, and then the exiting members of the Mountain West, trying to get them all into the same process, which I think is something we have not heard in the past. That you're talking about not two entities, but three entities involved in mediation, where you have the Mountain West, the exiting members, and the Pac-12 all trying to mediate their disputes with this third party, who again is not a legal figure. They're not a judge. They're not making legal decisions. It's a facilitator. In mediation, it is a facilitation. You have a mediator that is facilitating the exchanges of ideas, trying to find common ground. It has been very difficult to get those four entities in the same room for a protracted amount of time to actually hammer this stuff out. I am told that the expectation is that is no longer the problem. They should be able to get that. They should be able to get that done. And I would expect in a shorter term that the Mountain West Pac-12 mediation situation should be coming to some kind of resolution. That's a big deal, because I think on top of the fact that we were talking to, TV sources about, hey, where's the Pac-12? What's left for the Mountain West? I think this mediation is a big part of that, because I'll go back to my, and I'm not, again, trying to pat myself on the back, but a high-ranking television source telling me that the Pac-12 got essentially the same deal that the Mountain West had with CBS. There were a lot of people saying, and I believe John Canzano is one of the people who reported this, to tell you what John Canzano knows, which is nothing, as I tell you repeatedly. In no way, shape, or form, I am told by a high-ranking TV official, does a deal between CBS and the Pac-12 eliminate a deal with the Mountain West and the Pac-12, or the Mountain West and CBS? Because as I told you 2 weeks ago, I think any deal with the Mountain West will include CBS. And I think it was 2 weeks ago I said that, and I am hearing that repeatedly now, that CBS wants to be in business with the Mountain West. The biggest question I have is, how much money did CBS give the Pac-12? And how much of that pie does Boise State get? Because my firm belief continues to be Boise State's the only reason that CBS deal got done. And I know Pac-12 fans lose their mind over that, and you're all pissed off I'm saying that. I am telling you that the only reason that the Pac-12 has the deal with CBS is because Boise State is there, and secondarily, Gonzaga basketball is there. And hey, that might make it all worth it, right? But let's mark it down on Wednesday, June 25th. Remember, Boise was getting $5.3 million, I believe the number was, from the Mountain West. Just Google searching, it's online, go look it up.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting $5.3 million a year in uneven equity from the Mountain West. How much are they getting from the Pac-12? What's the guarantee? What was promised and what is being delivered? I think those are all huge, huge asking points, because, and I don't mean to completely pivot my opinion, because I'm not doing that. But when you have conversations like this and you are texting and talking to people in positions of influence in the television world, I can only tell you there's not many people who believe that this CBS deal is lucrative. There are not many people in television who believe the CBS deal, which believe who you want. I'm told there are still details in that deal to be worked out based on expansion, and then it will become official. But there's not a lot of people who believe that this CBS deal is a number they can be proud of, or they would have released it. And I think that's a very salient point. I am very curious to see, what do they get out of that? So
Yeah.
there you have it. Your thoughts? Where do you guys come down on it? I'm happy to debate. Kenneth Maynor for $10. Hello, Kenneth. Appreciate it. The American is bound to bounce back this year and compete with the PAC for that playoff spot. Memphis, Tulane, ECU, Army, and Navy will be strong contenders. Well, my guess is, if I had to guess, I mean, Tulane and Memphis are the two best football teams in that league, I would think. Army and Navy, I think, are year to year. Their offenses are very difficult to execute. They don't often beat quality opponents. So, I mean, I look at Notre Dame last year. That's a great example. I look at, who the non-academy third team, probably North Texas or UTSA, right? I think, not to be redundant, Memphis has to win this league. Memphis has to win this league. And if Memphis goes to the playoff, boy, does it make a conversation with somebody like the Big 12 or a P4 push that much easier to have.
Without a doubt.
Right? So I think that's really important. Kite Sunday for $2. I'm going to pirate all Pac-12 games. Cream. Okay.
Man, wow. Thanks.
Stay hard.
You do you.
Dude, thanks for such a great, contribution to this program.
Biggest load that we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. Come on.
Kite, you're unbelievable. Nick for $10. Burzich, If I'm killing that, I'm sorry. It's just math.
No, it's
If
just math.
if the new Pac-12 TV deal pays a school $7 million a year and the old Mountain West deal paid $4 million a year, you're paying $18 million in a buyout. That's 6 years. Just break even. Right. The problem is you're going to have and we have not seen, I want to make this clear, I have not seen a Pac-12 grant of rights. I have not seen a charter or a contract. I have not seen any of that from the Pac-12. But I have talked to administrators in that league who have said we have significant uneven revenue sharing in the form of Boise State and San Diego State and Gonzaga. I am told are all getting more money than everybody else. Gonzaga, because think about it this way. Gonzaga doesn't play football and they're getting a full share. They do not play football. They're getting a full share because it's going to be, I would assume, Gonzaga basketball is going to get a lot of carry on CBS, which makes sense. That's the big ticket in that league. But it's not like you're getting 10 games a year. It's 3 games a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not volume. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the money and you look at how are the buyouts going to be paid? I mean, we're waiting on that answer through mediation. Right? So if we get mediation done in a week to 10 days, I mean, we are 3 weeks away from Mountain West Media Day. I mean, that is rapidly approaching. And I would think you would want to have your major announcements, especially something like mediation. I would think you would want to have that done so that you can make like a media rights announcement at your media day event and not have the blowback or carryover from a legal dispute. Because everything at media day should be positive, positive, positive. I.e., Ollie Gordon got a DUI and Mike Gundy essentially got himself a pay cut 2 years ago at media day.
Yeah, his punishment was he had to do media day. Come on.
Right? So, yeah, I don't think you're wrong here. You can't tell me, and this is, I don't mean to be redundant. I'm sorry. You cannot tell me Boise left this league to break even. Like, that would be...
Gonzaga certainly didn't.
That would be stunning. If Boise does... What's the number, you guys? Like, Boise was making 5.3 a year on what they said was a terrible deal in the Mountain West. Well, now, according to our TV sources, they just got almost the same deal in the Pac-12 from CBS. Is CBS paying exponentially more to give the exact same deal? Somehow I don't see that. Somehow I do not see that. And CBS has to remember that you have to kind of carefully spread out. So if you're on Paramount Plus and I'm happy to go back to the graphic on it, right? If you're on Paramount Plus and you are somebody that is thinking, well, they're on Paramount Plus and CBS Sports Network and everything on Paramount Plus. No, I don't think that's the case. Because notice, nowhere near CBS Sports Network do you see Paramount Plus. Because why is that? That's a conflict. And we wondered aloud about this.
Yeah.
Aren't CBS Sports Network and Paramount Plus, don't they kind of run into each other? They do. So CBS Television and Paramount Plus, they can run congruent. Those are two different pathways. I think you look at this graphic now, and these are all a little bit more crystal clear now. 3 regular season football games. And what did I tell you? Who's going to be on those games? Is it going to be, I would assume, Oregon State?
Of course.
But I have to think Boise's getting one of those games at a minimum.
Well, I just think if you're CBS, that's what you want. That's
why you
the
did
whole
this
point.
deal.
Yeah, that's the impetus to do the deal.
So I just will keep stacking wins. And I will tell you, every time we talk to a well-placed source, that the message is the same. The CBS deal is not an exponential, massive, huge win for the Pac-12. It's important. They needed a media rights deal. And again, go back and look at the tape. What have I told you? CBS, the CW, and in some form or fashion, based on volume, a streamer like ESPN direct to consumer. That does not pay $8 to $10 million a year per school.
Nope.
That does not get you to 80. Like the other day on the show, Pac-12 fans coming in here telling me I'm stupid and we're getting $80 million a year. You're not getting $80 million a year. There's no way you're getting 80 million. How? From where? From where? Because ESPN Plus stream app direct to consumer, everybody's going to be on that because ESPN needs the inventory. The Mountain West, I could almost guarantee you, the Mountain West, Pac-12, they're going to be on that. SEC, Big 12, they're going to be on that. I'm telling you. It is, the biggest question is, what does Fox do with inventory now? Because Boise, that deal goes away. Boise has been a very good football partner with Fox Sports. You bring a lot of people to the TV. Gonzaga basketball has been a very good partner for Fox Sports. They bring a lot of people to the TV. What does Fox do to replace that? Is it CBS and Fox in the Mountain West and CBS and the CW and the Pac-12? Could be. Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, certainly.
But I have a tough time believing Fox is just going to sit around and be like, I don't think that's happening, man. I really don't. Chewy Gonzalez, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are better than Texas State, are a better team than Texas State. Oh, well, you get what you can get.
Okay.
Come on, man. Chewy Gonzalez, the hot dog stand in front of Home Depot has more name recognition than Texas State. Wow. Look, again, I don't think Texas State's a bad brand. I really don't believe they're a bad brand. They're just not a difference maker. And I know that Texas State fan and Pac-12 fan gets all pissed off that I said this. Texas State plays no role in a TV deal. They don't play any role
They're
whatsoever.
Just a checkbox brand. That's what they do.
We are a full conference because we add Texas State.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's called value. My proposition is, well, we bring 21,000 people to our home games. That's not moving the needle. And those numbers, do they improve? Hey, maybe Boise State comes to Central Texas and gets their ass beat. And now 30,000 people come to Texas State games. Great. That's a win. Not for the Pac-12, but for Texas State. Because anything bad for Boise State football is bad for the Pac-12. Ashton Jeanty having to go play in the NFL, bad for Boise State.
Right.
Bad for the Pac-12. Right? Like, I'm telling you that Texas State is not a bad brand. They're just not bringing more TV money. Ultimately, at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to. Reister JP, UTEP for sure is more national recognition, Glory Road. Well, listen, UTEP plays football and basketball. And I think UTEP's in this is the exact example of, holy cow, we need them to be good football team. We need them to be a good football team. We need them to be a good basketball team. Everybody, the Mountain West, more than the Pac-12. The Mountain West has got to get all their brands to step up and win games. I think it's really important because you have rubber stamps in Boise and Gonzaga that you do not have in the Mountain West. Are we certain that UNLV football is going to keep going? Like what Barry Odom built there with crazy guy and his wife as the head coach, and I like Dan Mullen. I think he's shown he can coach.
Crazy guy and his wife.
She's a
Don't
little
talk crap about my team.
She's a little handsy. But my point is, are we certain that UNLV is going to continue? No. Need to prove it. Danny and the handsy one need to prove that.
Danny and the handsy one.
Relax. I'm having fun. We need to see Dan Mullen and UNLV win some games and continue to win games. And I mean right now. You've got to have it. Vern Buddha.
Hey, Vern.
Vern, buddy.
Hey, bud.
Hey, buddy. Purdue hanging on hanging on by our fingernails to the Big Ten. Hopefully the big guys don't push out the new Pac-12. Well, I hate Purdue. I hate everything about Purdue. They make a hell of a good engineer. They don't win football games, though. Like Purdue. Yeah. Purdue's fine. So another drop today. I wonder how close the mediation is to wrapping up. Maybe the lawyers have pretty much figured out what is equitable. What do you mean another drop? Yes. Do you know? Yes. Do you know how hard it is to see Fresno State on local TV? At least the CW gives me a channel to watch the Pac-12 football on local TV.
Yeah, and that's fair. Yeah.
Truth. And CBS Sports Network should be readily available to you. I would think. But Backwoods Mike Smith, Rice, UNT, UTSA, UTEP, SFA probably have more national name recognition over Texas State. Well, certainly Rice is a tiny school. UTSA is a great athletic department. I don't even think Texas State is certainly up and coming. But you can't make the case that didn't we say they averaged 21,000 fans at their home games?
Something like that.
You're not even a G5 school at that point. Like, you just live in who you are. Because there's nothing wrong with who and where and what Texas State is. They're an emerging university with an athletic department that is growing. They're winning games. They're investing in their athletics. That's great. But they're not the hero you wanted in the Pac-12. They're not UNLV, certainly. But they are the hero you needed to make that league whole. Understand that. Like, Pac-12 fan, really everybody. The problem is, Texas State fan wants to come in here and tell you they're the 7th best team in Texas. You're not helping yourself, man. You're not helping yourself when you say
is a hell of a drug.
Our fans are going to power your home ticket sales. No, they're not. You only average 21,000 at home. What makes you think you're traveling a third of that, a quarter of that?
Come on.
An eighth of that? You're not. You're not. David Persons, I am still mystified why Boise State never wound up in the Big 12 7 or 8 years ago, and why the Pac-12 Texas OU deal crashed as well. Because egos are a very, very, very dangerous weapon. And I think what's a miracle is, how is BYU not in the Pac-12?
That's a great question, man.
They'd still be here if they had added BYU. How did the Pac-12 not take Texas and Oak State and BYU? How? Because USC and UCLA were already on paper with the Big Ten. That's why. Because you had no leadership. And in a vacuum of leadership, people are going to step up and do what's best for them. And that's what happened. I don't disagree with you at all. Lots of speculating, Monty. What am I speculating on? Which is good, but not factual. We're all waiting to see. Okay. Well, again, I just invite you to point out what I've speculated about that I've been incorrect on. I'm very curious. As far as what news we have today, why don't we know the CBS dollar value on the Pac-12 deal? Why don't we know the dollar value of the deal for this coming season? Because it's not good.
Yeah, the value of the Pac-12 TV deal per school, I think, will be very much in alignment with what we've said. And we've been on that hill for a long time.
I feel like $65 million a year would be an unequivocal win for the Pac-12. That's, you're averaging $7 million. That could probably kick you to $9 million for Boise per year, right? And if you, again, I'm on with Homeboy, who said it's simple math. If we do some simple math and you're getting $65 million a year minus let's say $9 million for Boise, that's $56 million a year. Divided by 8 is $7 million a year. Okay, well, what do we kick in for Gonzaga basketball? because I highly doubt they're leaving just for what everybody else is getting. What are you giving San Diego State? Because by some accounts, San Diego State's the one that made this happen. Like, if you're at $7 million a year, okay, hey, man, that's a decent deal. But it is, I agree, it is break even for the first 3 years of that deal because you're paying exit fees. You're not getting out of that off the hook totally. Like we just need to wait and see. We just need to wait and see. That's what it comes down to. But I'm happy to speculate because we don't speculate. We talk from a position of knowledge because we talk to people involved.
Yeah.
So Mike Smith, Marcos Island better than San Marcos. Well,
I mean, it's a valid point, dude. It's a valid point.
Texas State is no worse than UCF as far as name recognition. You're out of your mind. That's completely wrong.
It's just uneducated. Yeah.
Reister JP, all Texas State fanatic stats are pulled from his, yes. Oh, is Texas State fanatic here today?
Yeah.
Okay. That works. Jim Choi, average Joe doesn't know Texas State from Texas Tech. For the PAC, it's all about name. And I think with Texas State, they needed Texas State to round out the conference, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Where is Stadium James to tell us about the amenities at Texas State's football field? That'd be very interesting right now.
Yeah, he's in Florida right now eating dinner with his
Folks.
family.
We're
waiting. Yeah, we're waiting for an update.
And he did ask us for a little PTO. That's personal time off. He did ask us for a little PTO.
That's right, T.
We threw in a floating holiday as well. So,
yeah. Okay, great.
Is what it is. Mullen won at Mississippi State and Florida. He'll win again against Mountain West coaching. I agree. I think Dan Mullen's he's a good coach, but he won to a certain point. And there was significant disappointment at Florida, right? I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. Mad Cat, will Air Force try to bail out of the Mountain West if the door opens? They have a grant of rights. I think there's a lot of people who are, and Mad Cat, I'm not saying you are, but I think there's a lot of people counting on the Mountain West to disappear. I'm telling you, they're not disappearing. I just don't know
why we root for these conferences to burn down, dude.
I don't understand at all. Oak State James, greetings from Florida. What did I miss? Nothing.
Well,
Ulysses Gonzalez. I'm going to laugh when I'm 2026. The Texas State games are a majority of the games with the highest ratings for the PAC in 2026. Let's see.
Prove it.
Because Boise State's the one that draws in that league. San Diego State football does not draw in that league. And they don't do TV numbers. They don't win games. Their basketball, okay, different story. So we'll see about that. You could be right. Seems I checked the other day and Texas State game attendance was around the same as Mountain West. Okay, let's look at Texas State versus, I don't know. How about Boise State? Right? Boise State average football attendance. Boise State averages 35,867 fans a game. Okay, San Diego State. Man, I got to believe they outdraw San Diego State. Because nobody. Ain't nobody. Yeah, 24,832.
So barely outdraws them.
Barely outdraws them. But if we go like, who's the least San Jose State? I would hope you outdraw San Jose State, right? You better. San Jose State averages 16,804. You have yourself a winner, right? That's why I continue to say Texas State's not a bad ad. The issue is Texas State fans saying, we're going to power your home attendance in the Pac-12. We travel. You average 21,000 fans a game at home. Is what it is, right? Like,
yeah,
just be who you are. You guys are uninformed morons at this point.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ulysses is choosing violence. Texas State has the winningest athletic program in the SBC 4 of the last 6 years, 2 of the last 3. What does that mean?
Who cares?
Tell me why that matters.
Yeah.
Who are you going against? Tell me why that matters. We've talked about this. I know you're new to the show, and we're stupid morons. We've talked about this, and I continue to tell people, I'm not the one ripping Texas State. When Texas State fan comes in here and says you're the 7th best football team in Texas as a feather in your cap, that's not a good thing.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
If you look at the Sun Belt Conference, with all due respect, you in football, are we really excited about Old Dominion, Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, Appy State, Georgia State, Southern Miss, Troy, ULM, South Alabama? I mean, you guys were 8-5. What was that last year? Yeah, you guys were 8-5 last year. 3rd in the West. Arkansas State and Louisiana were better. And Georgia Southern and Marshall were better. You come in and you call people stupid. And this is what I tell all new listeners on this show.
Every time.
You come in here and you start name calling and calling people stupid, or what'd you say, uninformed morons? What you don't understand is we've already had the argument that you're calling us uninformed morons. We're the ones saying that, hey, Texas State's a good athletic program, but they're not going to power people's home attendance with their road traveling fans. I'm trying to, and so I'm going to guess you're a Texas State fan. Calling people uninformed morons doesn't help your case as a Texas State fan. Being an adult, which maybe for you is difficult. Pac-12 had unrealistic expectations and inflated opinions of their value, and it's entirely their own fault.
Agreed.
And they've done it again. Because John Canzano sits up there and tells you things you want to hear, not the truth. Okay, well, go to John's show, because I'm the guy that's going to tell you the truth. It's why we're right. Wait. What have we been wrong about with the Pac-12? Let's have the argument, Ulysses. Because I'm just a stupid moron. What have we been wrong about on the Pac-12? Please, let me know, what have we been wrong about? Because I don't see it. Joseph Harper, I see Wazoo flags at every stadium. Don't recall seeing Texas State flag. It's a small brand that's new. It's a new brand. People don't know it. It's only recently been good athletically. And you're coming out of a mediocre year in the Sun Belt. So welcome to the Pac-12 in 2 seasons. Try not to suck. Because if you go into that league and you're subpar.
Who's the uninformed moron now?
Dwight Lilly. Come on, Monty. You're not a moron. Entertaining, yes. Master speculator, yes. But you are a Mountain State homer? Okay, so ask Mountain West fan if I'm a Mountain West homer. And I am not speculating about anything. And Dwight, you can keep running with that, but you do you. You do you. Seth Hatmaker, Pac-12 are cool brands, more fun than the MAC Thursday, but I'm sad over this. If you're a Pac-12 fan, the CBS deal is a good deal. The Texas State deal, it's a good deal. It makes you a whole conference. Just keep bringing me good news. Get in the entirety of your media rights deal done, and then make an announcement that includes a dollar value.
Yep.
Which I'm starting to think they won't. But Zupo the Gold, G-O-H-D. Y'all think Texas State can crack 25K attendance with bigger programs they will play? Well, you're going to have bigger brands coming in. I mean, I would assume when Boise comes to town, you're going to have significantly more fans, but that's why it's called average attendance, because I don't know that anybody's going to show out for Fresno State. I don't know that anybody is showing out for San Diego State. You look at the brands in the Pac-12. Who's excited about Utah State? Now, does Oregon State bring some people out? I would think they do. But is there a huge market for a pretty mediocre Washington State football program in Central Texas? I'm going to say there's probably not. Colorado State? I'm going to say there's probably not. So are we talking about ticking up and we went from 21,000 to 50,000? That's not happening. But can you get to 35,000? I don't know. All I ever hear about is how Texas State fans are amazing and they show out. And then when I said, well, hey, you only average 21,000 fans a game. And I think, didn't we say that Texas State's football stadium only holds like 30-something thousand?
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, and I want to fact check that just to be sure.
Just to be a hundo P.
It was like Wacker Field, Jim Wacker Field, right? That's the, and what is their capacity? 27,000. How much of a jump do you think you're going to make? That's the big question. So I'm not being a hater. I can't change the fact you guys only have a capacity of 27,149. So call me a hater or a speculator or whatever it is you want. But again,
how do you do it? Like, how do you have people believing you're a Mountain West homer, an SEC homer, a dying Mormon,
a Big 12 homer,
an
an SEC homer. I throat Greg Sankey every chance I get.
Yeah, you pad Gloria.
Yeah, Gloria Navarez is paying us to say nice things. And don't forget that one.
You know,
we hear that all the time.
I mean, I got to give you a lot of credit, dude. Your ability to change every day is seemingly incredible, dude.
I'm saying, forward-thinking trucker. You know, the funny thing is about being a trucker, I just had a conversation when we were driving back from Vail, me and my wife. We went to Vail over the weekend to celebrate our anniversary and play some pretty crappy golf. Vail Golf Club is not worth a penny. Anyway, we were obviously on the road with a bunch of truckers, and we were having a conversation about how important and how vital long haul truckers are. And it's incredible. And we only talked about that because we almost died with a truck hitting us. Texas State fans are cool. They're like from a top 10 party school. I work with nothing but alums from there. They're just like the Bobcats. Hey, I don't know. I think there's this belief that I somehow hate Texas State or have an axe to grind. Why? How could I possibly have an axe to grind with Texas State?
People are misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Right? Like, how could I possibly have an axe to grind? Like, again, Texas State Fanatics is here. He says, we do travel. This is crazy. So how many fans, Texas State Fanatic, how many fans are on the road in Corvallis, Spokane, San Diego,
Boise?
What if you got to go to Boise in November? You leaving your creature comforts of Texas?
Logan, Utah.
That smells like manure.
Come on.
You out of your goddamn mind.
Do you even know where Logan, Utah is? You think you're sending 10,000 fans? BYU easily travels that. Where are you sending? Be realistic. You're a low level now. You're about to be this week a low level G5 program. You ever build one of those franchise modes in a video game? And like in baseball, you build a player and they send you to rookie ball.
Pack this thing up. We're out of here.
And then you got to like lift weights and you got to hit and all that's who you are right now. You're in rookie ball. You're at the bottom of the Pac-12 until you prove you're not. Because everybody else in that conference is a proven football team. We know what they are. So we do travel. How many fans do you think you're sending to games? That's what I'm asking. Corey D. The PAC still has a chance to add some Power 4 schools in the future. Oh, do tell. Their media deal is going to be way better than any other new mid-majors media deal. Well, mid-major is a basketball comment. Is that I think they're going to be a good basketball league. I think a 3 to 4 bid league. But I think the question is, who are we going to see on CBS for those 3 games? +1, let's say. I think it's going to be Boise. And I think it's going to be some crossover with the Big Ten. I could see Oregon home games. I could see Oregon State home games, rather. Like, I think it depends on who's winning. You know. JC, I can see Texas State fans in Fresno wondering why it's so freaking hot at 9 p.m. It's always, dude, I did a nickel upstate in Reedley when my mother-in-law was a school administrator.
Fire and fury.
Great steakhouse. Dude, you sweat from every orifice in Reedley, California. I hope you feel better. 2006 Pontiac Aztec. Hell of a vehicle. Do you guys see what this becomes?
Oh, dear.
On a good day, barely gets people in Houston talking about them after 50 years of Heisman Trophy winners, Southwestern Conference Championship, etc. Houston grad here. No one cares about Texas State outside of Marcos. That's probably the truth. I am so ready for the NBA draft tonight. Shouty, good to see you. MAC games midweek are the best. Okay. The Sir Killer. Texas State, y'all will dominate the 11 a.m. game to kick off PAC games each week. You are at home. Own it. It's not bad. It's not bad. You know, fight on natties, but money. Any TV money is good money.
But he gets paid a lot of money.
That Big Ten money is pretty good money for you guys, right? Dwight, just because he speaks the truth doesn't make him a homer. Keep your feelings out of it. That's what I don't understand. Why is it that the truth makes me a homer for every conference in the country? Dude, you are a homer of those. You're an HBCU homer. I'm tired of hearing about Jackson State.
Waves in opposition.
Literally.
You know, it's amazing. But Monty, hey, Monty. Monty is officially a homer of the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, the Pac-12, the Mountain West, Notre Dame. The list just keeps growing.
What you want me to say to them?
It does. Greg Hill, it's not new to Texans, to be fair. They actually were pretty good as Southwest Texas State under Jim Wacker. Also, quickly rising star academically in Texas. That's why I said Texas State's not a bad university. It's not a bad athletic department. Somebody sending you nudes?
No. I was looking at that Dak picture that popped up.
Did you guys see Dak Prescott and his cleavage-filled girlfriend? I'd be posting pictures too. Backwoods, sexy Mike Smith. Minus Boise and Oregon State, I will take MAC games. Could be. It's Keaton.
Oh, this ought to be good. Keaton, let's see if you fill your quota for Homer Pac-12 comment of the day.
Boise State and others left because they wanted to be around like-minded programs who want to get better. Okay. I'm not a smart person. As
we've established today in the comments section.
I'm a stupid moron.
Yeah.
Now, I know they want to be around like-minded people. Isn't that why they left together? The same people they've been around forever make up the Pac-12, Keaton. What like-minded people are we talking about?
You have to be nice to stupid people.
Gonzaga doesn't play football. Oregon State, okay. I wouldn't mind being a partner with Oregon State, who's so in love with being around like-minded people in the Pac-12 that they tried to get in the Big 12 before they signed the grant of rights. Again. And I would also point out Washington State is broke. Athletically broke. Who are the like-minded folks that are just going to be pervasive in this league? Oh, I know, the same people you were in the Mountain West with.
That's right, T.
What are you talking about, my guy? And then who want to get better. So you just took the same deal you had in the Mountain West that you said was terrible, and you brought it over to the Pac-12.
Oh, man, really getting better there, dude.
And Boise State now gets to be on CBS, and Texas State is going to be on ESPN DTC.
Great.
Okay. Tired of playing Nevada, UN, and San Jose State. So let me just get this right. Those three stadiums caused the entire league to break down. That's what you're saying. It's those three, Nevada, New Mexico, and San Jose State. We just can't do it anymore. I thought it was to make more money. So if you're worried about empty stadiums, small crowds, how do you feel about that 21,000 fans in San Marcos? Bueller, like,
Monty?
are we? You make my argument for me, right? Like, are we really at a point where we're going to say, hey, you know, I can't go to Fresno State and because what is their average attendance? Average attendance. You know, oh man, the 39,939 per game in 2023. Okay. So Fresno State had a big increase in their, so you're telling me that's like-minded? Because I would remind you, Fresno State didn't win a whole lot of games. Fresno State post Tedford, and I agree they're going in the right direction now. But if you look at the Mountain West this year, where's the number? Non-Hawaii games averaged 25,620, which is up year over year. So you're saying attendance was the reason you had to get out of that league, but attendance, 25,620 average attendance in the Mountain West. And you say it like, well, they're just a bunch of dogs. So that's the most since 2013. So when you had an all-time attendance high and you were, man, we got to get out of here. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
He doesn't know.
You couldn't be more wrong. They wanted to be with like-minded business partners. They all went together. So let me see if I understand this. Like-minded business partners. You were so like-minded, you're the ones who wrote the exit agreement in the Mountain West, and you're the ones who put yourself in litigation, right? Because you don't want to pay the exit fees that you wrote, that you designed, that you made part of the membership agreement. That's being like-minded? That's terrible business. You want to be in business with San Diego State, who can't shut up long enough to be right about anything? Like, hey, it'll be by the end of March, we're going to have a transformative TV deal.
Oh, it'll be by the end of the holidays, dude.
But speaking of which, how about Teresa Gould? We need a transformative TV partner. This deal, and it's the exact same deal all you like-minded folks had in the Mountain West. We need a transformative deal.
Praise the TV networks.
This is what's wrong with the Pac-12. This arrogance is what's wrong with the Pac-12. You are out of your goddamn mind. You are out of your mind. That is amazing. That is amazing. I said uninformed morons can't get that right either. Well, I'm a moron. Why name call? Because you disagree? That's who we are now. We just call people names because we disagree. Okay. Keaton, again, finish the comment and you'll get your answer. The schools that came with are focused on growth. Okay, well, so you weren't growing in the Mountain West is what you're saying. So the attendance was up. You were putting teams in the tournament every year. You have multiple four-bid league. You weren't growing.
Did you go to the college football playoff recently?
You weren't growing.
Does every conference have a group of schools at the bottom that doesn't try?
So UNLV growing and getting better under Barry Odom and then hiring Dan Mullen and being in the conference championship game and that's not getting better at football. What are you talking about? You're completely incorrect. You're completely incorrect. It's amazing to me. Joey B. Monty and Jake, Redlands Mesa in Grand Junction, Colorado. Have you played there? We have not.
No.
We drove right by it the other day, Mrs. Monty and I. Ulysses, the best of the Mountain West plus Oregon State and Wazoo. Okay, right. But what does that mean for Texas State? Who you said was the greatest Sun Belt team ever. I know you didn't say that. I'm being hyperbolic. It's a joke. What does that have to do with Texas State? Did we ever say this was a bad move for Texas State? No, just the opposite. Great move for Texas State. Did we say Texas State's a bad football program or a bad athletic department or a bad school? No. We never said that. What I said was, you're not going to, like your fanatic buddy talking about how you're going to fill up road stadiums. No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're not. Nope.
You're not going to bring 3,000 people would be my guess, maximum. And
But
those
again,
will be
you
the
don't need to. That's
no,
the thing.
but why brag about it? Like, it's amazing to me how you guys take this stuff so personally and you get so mad. And I've never said a cross word about Texas State other than you don't bring TV value, which I think is being proven out with what we're reporting today, that the Mountain West deal and the Pac-12 deal with CBS are almost identical, very similar. So, and I know Keaton knows everything. You want to get better and improve, and we want to be like-minded. How come you didn't get a huge TV deal from CBS like everybody was telling us?
Let me get this right. You don't have
$80 million.
You don't have more access. You're not making more money, and you're adding schools that are worse than the schools you are already around. Like,
come on.
What am I missing?
It's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Like, the truth about Texas State is it's a good university. It's an emerging athletic department. You average 21,000 fans a game at home in a stadium that holds 27. Is what it is, man. Is what it is. Oregon State Stadium, not going to lie, is nice. Dude, research, and it's completely renovated.
Yeah, and why did they renovate it? Because the Pac-12 was supposed to get a new deal and go after the national championship through the CFP.
$50 million a year per school. Never happened. Was there for the Oregon State Colorado State game last year? Great venue for college football. It's amazing.
Yeah, Reeser's outstanding, dude.
It's amazing. It really is. Wasikowski, hello. Tigers getting to 50 wins is more entertaining than Pac-12 games. Bro, don't get me started on the Cubs. I swear to God, if they trade for Walker Buehler, I am going to do nothing about it. Walker Buehler's not the guy. We got to talk about Jake won't let me talk about, listen, Jake won't let me talk about the Cubs. He is straight up said in the pre-show meeting, if you bring up the Cubs, he's going to smash me in the face or have Ulysses to it.
Yeah.
And he said, Ulysses is coming in here with fire today. He's going to smash you in the face. Yeah, present. If you talk about the Cubs, Ulysses is coming for you.
Bruh.
I hadn't talked about the Cubs, and Ulysses still seems pissed off.
Selectively aggressive.
You know. Speaking of which, 24,000 fans, at least. Wazoo is going to be a sellout with the expanded seating at 33,000. Same for Oregon State.
Who the hell are you? Oak State James?
Okay.
Like,
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Washington State's not a good football program. I would assume anytime Boise comes in, I would hope the place would be full.
mm-hmm.
I would hope so. Oregon State, I think the world of Scott Barnes, and I believe that they are moving in the right direction. I think Fresno State's moving in the right direction. They've got to win big games.
Well, the Mountain West isn't moving in the right direction. We all,
They're
been bored out.
They're
apparently.
losing.
Yeah, they're losing and regressing, and
Keaton, you're making my point. The teams who left are like-minded. So UNLV's not like-minded. They don't try to win. What, bro? Why can't you just own? I don't even know who you're a fan of. I have no idea. Why can't you just own the fact that there's so much of an uphill climb? If everything went perfectly, it'd be 3 years before the Pac-12 could even get close to profitability. If everything went perfectly, just because of the financial hole that they're in. Now your TV deal looks to be undervalued. Or at least less than you had hoped it would be. Undervalued is probably strong. And you're trying to make an argument that you can't. It's about the commitment to growth.
So if it's about a commitment to growth, then why did y'all get together and say we're going to leave a conference and incur a bunch of costs that we don't need to incur to go to a conference that doesn't even exist?
What are you going to do?
What do you mean?
What are you going to do when Washington State cannot financially compete? What are you going to do?
What are you going to do when Boise State's unhappy because they're not making any money? Like, what are you going to do when you don't have the strength of schedule because you play in a crap conference? You can't get into the CFP. What are you going to do?
There's so the hill. I just keep pointing this. The hill to climb in the Pac-12 is significant. It's a new entity. You don't have any standards of practice in place. I would agree with you on a certain level. You have some continuity because all these administrators know each other. And yet still the hill is going to be steep.
But what does that mean, though? See, this is the problem. You're sitting here saying he's making your point. The point you're trying to make couldn't be more flawed. You're saying that these schools left the Mountain West because they're all like-minded and they're all actually trying to win and trying to make more money. Okay, go ahead and why don't you lay out your PowerPoint presentation as to how the Pac-12 is going to make more money than these same schools were making in the Mountain West. How you're going to get more access from the Pac-12 than you were in the Mountain West, and how you're going to just overall be in a better financial spot.
It makes my head hurt.
But you can't do that, dude. So sure, are you right that these schools got together in a little pod and went to a different conference and everyone feels good about that? Sure. Great. You're right. Talk to me in a year when you're making the same or less money and your profitability percentage is way down because you got to pay all these legal fees.
And I'm still just trying to figure out. And the thing that I will ask, and I will continue to ask, and I will continue to say this. How much are you paying Boise State, Gonzaga, and San Diego State? Because if you're paying each one of them $9 million, $8 million, because Boise State made $5.3 million in the Mountain West. And now they have unequal revenue sharing. We know that Gonzaga's getting a full share. Are they getting more than everybody else? Because without Gonzaga, that CBS deal's less. And I got news for you. Gonzaga knows that. They know their value and they know their role. If you're paying each one of them even $8 million, what's left for everybody else? We'll find out. Rock and rant. Everyone is an expert if they know anything. Welcome to the age of information. And what's funny is we just talked to the people who are directly involved in these situations. All of this conversation today is because we had multiple conversations with people who are at the highest levels of television. And they're telling us, hey, here's what you should be looking at with this CBS deal. It's pretty much the exact same deal the Mountain West had. And that's not going to be enough money, even if it's more, right? If it's because if you do the math on it, right? And let's say that it's, if it's a 5-year deal and it's what, 65 a year, that's $325 million, right? And what was the Mountain West deal? $260 million ish. Okay. So you start doing some math on that and you figure out, hey, that's not a whole hell of a lot more money than the Mountain West got in their previous deal. So how are you going? Like, it just doesn't math. It doesn't add up. So I'm telling you, when I've got a really high-ranking TV guy telling me, we're hearing pretty soundly, it's going to be the CW. And I even asked, hey, who's going to pay the production cost on that? Because Pac-12 fans have been like, oh, well, that just means the CW gives us more money. And the answer is no, they don't. The deal with the CW has been, historically, you guys are in charge of producing those games, not us. We're going to air those games and give you this amount of money and you get an unequal revenue share of ad sales. You bring money, and the deal with the Pac-12 has always been, hey, who gets to sell the inventory? Who owns that inventory? Who owns what percentage? What category exclusives? Do you get the beer money? Do you get the car money? Do you get the, like, hey, how does that work? And again, same TV guy texting me, you're exactly right. Fans are short for fanatics. And I'm just telling you that this CBS deal is very similar to the one the Mountain West had. And we can sit here and we can talk about, does the Pac-12 have brands? Yes. But if those brands didn't bring you anything, are you getting $65 million a year out of this media rights deal? Because if you're not, dude, you're in trouble. If you're under $65 million total per season in the Pac-12, I think you're in a real problem. It's a real problem. It is a real problem. And guys like Dwight, then what are you doing here? Like you can keep saying it's speculation. We've been right across the board through this entire process because we're not speculating.
There's a reason you listen every day.
We're not speculating. We're talking to the people involved. We're talking to the TV people who know the structure of these deals. How do you think we gave you the exact breakdown of how the Big 12 got a new deal? How do you think we gave you the exact breakdown of how the Four Corner schools, the Arizona schools, Utah and Colorado wound up in the Big 12? Do you think we were just speculating and happened to hit the fucking nail right on the head? No, because we're talking to the people involved. And it wears me out. It really wears me. People like Dwight. This is why we don't read 9 out of 10 days. And maybe I should just go back to it. I'm not going to read non-member comments.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it's guys like you who you're a waste of breath. Because you have such a desire to know what's going on, but you clearly don't. It's guys like Keaton. You're so lost in your own belief system that you can't pay attention to facts. D. Lilly, UCLA is breaking off money to Berkeley. UW could break some dough off to Wazoo. That's speculation, right? Dwight, you're in word timeout. Please be respectful of Jeremiah. There you go. There you go. Like, it's wild to me that we continue to see people who just don't. You can want something to be a certain way. That doesn't mean it's going to be true.
Yep.
Right. I would also remind you, as of right now, we are an hour away from the NBA draft tipping off. I think. Do you expect trades to come down in the next hour?
Yeah, I do. I would not be surprised I wouldn't be surprised if we got some action on Jaylen Brown. Wouldn't be surprised if the Atlanta Hawks made a trade to move up in the draft. There's been a lot of smoke about that today from multiple people who cover the NBA. And I think I just think that this Jason Tatum Achilles injury has paved the way for the Celtics to feel a little better about tearing it down and rebuilding around him, because he's going to be out rehabbing. They don't obviously want to pay tax when they're not, when they're not winning. So why would you not move him, get some picks, and be on your way? Like that to me just makes too much sense.
Yeah, I would agree. And if you look at and I think there's a potential the second round could have more heat on it than the first round, because there's a lot of second round picks that got traded. Wasikowski, NBA rounds 1 and 2 all tonight. No, 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday. 2 rounds in the NBA draft. Sold out home games against Arizona State last year with 1 million rating on a weeknight. Well, that's great. I mean, listen, Arizona State travels like a monster, dude. And I think we know why now, because they went to the college football playoff. So they won the whole thing. Jeremiah Champion, but Monty, a thanks, babe. Exactly. Gumby sources. Exactly right. Monty has real connections. I know because I'm one of them. Mike gives me incredible information.
Well, do you have a sideline reporter friend as well? Or what's your,
Lamont Tucker. What's up, Lamont? Good to see you, dude. Mississippi State ain't had a winning season since Dan Mullen left. Truth. Absolutely right. I think that's a huge question for the Mountain West. UNLV is such an important brand.
Deliver.
They're an important brand, an important athletic department, and certainly a valuable market in the Mountain West. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see where they go. $8 million a year doesn't even cover traveling. You need your media rights deal to be every penny possible. I don't think there's any doubt.
I think that there's no question. I don't care who you are. There's no question you're losing money the first year. Like you're covering all these fees.
It's a 3-year break even.
Yeah,
it's a three. It truly. You look at the financial models. You look at the way these things have gone historically. We've never seen somebody form a completely new entity out of the ashes and try to do what the Pac-12 is doing. Best case is it's a 3-year break even.
Right.
And that's at the conference level. And obviously, well, who makes up the conference? Each one of these universities. So we'll see. Joey B. Monty, would you wear a Ricky Fowler orange Puma golf shirt if he wins the Detroit Open, the Rocket Mortgage? I would wear one if he doesn't. I'm a huge Ricky guy. This TV deal is like rookie deal. Your small potatoes, if your brands get better, then the deal gets better. That's business 101. No question about it. And this is what I'm saying to Texas State. Win a bunch of games. You want to be relevant. You want to win a bunch of games. I would expect nothing less than, hey, Boise State comes to town, building's full. Absolutely. Gonzaga basketball comes to town, building's full. It damn well better be. That's not like some big deal. That's
Couldn't agree more, dude.
That's the minimum expectation. If you're what I have described as this emerging athletic department, if Oregon State comes to Wacker Field, that place better be jammed. That should be the minimum expectation. But if you're thinking it's going to be Dion in Colorado and you're going to sell out season tickets and sell out the entire allotment of tickets for 3 straight years, I don't think that's happening at this point. I don't. But hey, I could be wrong. But Monty, which Ainge is being drafted at number 5? Jazz fans are such red asses. Do the Jazz make a move to grow that team? I don't know. Eric Wasikowski, Laurie traded tonight? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think the only people making trades pre-draft are the ones who want to draft somebody tonight. I think your biggest trades will be in July because the big deals are done.
Yeah, the easy guy to move would be John Collins. Opted into his deal today. It's an expiring contract now. If you're a Jazz fan, that's the guy to be looking at to move first.
Yeah, but there's a lot of speculation now. The Lakers are in on Jaylen Brown. And they're willing to trade Austin Reeves. It'd have to be a multi-team deal to make the salaries work because the Lakers, I'm pretty sure, are still hard capped. If you can get Jaylen Brown out of Boston, it's probably going to cost you some combination, Austin Reeves and a Dalton Connect, a Rui Hachimura, a Vando,
Right.
It's going to cost you depth. And if you're the Lakers, do you believe that Jalen, Luka, and LeBron can play together and win a championship next season? Because if you don't, you shouldn't make that trade. Shouldn't make that trade. You've got to make a trade that makes LeBron an NBA champion a year from now. Is Jaylen Brown that guy? I personally think he is. Lockdown defender.
Oh, he's proven to be that guy.
Not as a number one.
Yeah,
Not as a number one.
He's a proven number 2.
Yeah. Tiger Jeb. What's up, Jeb? Good to see you. Boy, you guys are a hot topic. I had a TV guy tell me that Memphis is the only transformational brand left in expansion. And that I think the Pac-12 is a tough sell for Memphis football only. I think it's a absolute hard no on all Memphis sports. I think that's going to be a tough set because I think, what did Ed Scott say last week? And I'll play you this bite because I think it's huge. It's hugely impactful today. Where's that bite of Ed Scott? where he took this one right here. Listen to what he says about a Pac-12 media deal.
I know that she's worried about finding her 8th full member. I'm worried about trying to get us into a Power 4 conference. That is our first goal unequivocally and has always been our goal. I've had no real substantive conversations with Val Ackerman. Told y'all before, and I'll tell you again. When we get an offer, I will stand up in front of you and be accountable for whatever decision I make as the athletic director in conjunction with the president and the board of trustees. But until we get an offer, there's nothing for me to talk about. I checked my email knowing I was going to get that question today just before I left, and I did not see any breaking news on the ticker that the Pac-12 announced their media deal.
Right?
He doesn't have sources either, though.
No,
right?
That's all speculation.
Yeah, that's all speculation. So, Dwight, you don't want to believe him either. You know.
It's crazy to me that, got to see where Eager gets drafted. I hope it's to a good team.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Is he a first-round guy?
Could see him low first round, end of the first round, 6'8" wing. You know,
what do the Jazz do at 5? If Ace Bailey, because everybody is saying that Ace Bailey is off of all draft boards in the top 10. If Ace Bailey's out of the top 10 and you're the Jazz, do you not look at Ace Bailey? How are you not looking at Ace Bailey? You don't have a transformative wing player right now. I mean, who's your best young player if you're the Jazz? Isaiah Collier?
Yeah.
Right? Because you're apparently off the Keontae bandwagon. Like, Ace Bailey's fascinating tonight. I mean, I look at Demon and I say, I don't know. He's a day one guy, right? Like, he's top 20. I mean, if you're...
I just think the fact that he's 6'8" and athletic is attractive in the league today. You can do a lot with that. He doesn't have to be this dominant scoring wing, but what he can be is a dominant matchup player, you know, and I think that, you know, in the tournament, I feel like he showed his ability to play good enough defense, you know, to kind of hold his own and make it so he's not a liability.
But is he a guy that wants to score every time? Is he a killer?
I don't know that he's a killer, but I think he's an opportunistic sniper, if you will. He's somebody who he's not going to be a number one on your team. But what he is 6'8". He can go and rebound for you. He clearly knows how to play an emotion offense, as he showed. And when he gets the ball, he'll go to the elbow. He'll shoot it off the wing. Like he's my point is he's pliable. So he's not a top 10 guy for those reasons. But I do think, you know, depending on how the draft goes, because I do think this is a draft where you don't know what in the hell is going to happen in this draft. I think the only certain is Cooper Flagg at 1.
I think if you're going guard, and a lot of people think the Jazz are going guard, which would tell you that Collier and George probably are done. They're never going to be that number one guy. Con Knippel is probably your best option. I think he immediately plays starters minutes, right? But if you look at who's ahead, I mean, Edgecombe from Baylor's not getting past Philadelphia. There's not a chance in the world he gets past the Sixers. So if we're talking about what's really available for the Jazz, it can't be Igor Demon. It's got to be Jeremiah Fears. It's got to be, I mean, Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson at Texas. I'm a huge Trey Johnson fan. I think he is fantastic.
Okay, bro. We got to talk about Ace Bailey's draft day fit, dude. This is a huge problem. Bro.
It is a huge problem. I saw it on Twitter.
It's going around X now. This is not good. Like, dude is wearing a black, you know, sport coat with a red.
Get it.
Like, I don't even know how to describe this, bro.
He is wearing, he's got his tight pants on.
Like, could you not just wear a suit, bro?
He is.
What is this?
He is wearing an outfit. And I hate that you brought this up because I tried to stay away from it.
But he's not helping himself, is my point. Like,
no, but I don't think he can help himself. This is who he is. And this is why he's off a top 10 people's draft board. I don't really give a rat's ass what a guy dresses like. I covered Dennis Rodman for multiple years.
Yeah, but
Dennis was a pain in the ass and not great for basketball teams, but he won. And then there's Ace Bailey. And you start seeing why people are like, uh-oh. Like,
I don't know. I care what dudes wear to the draft, dude. It matters. I think how you represent yourself
The boots feel like it puts the fit over the top, but the tight red pants, like,
it's terrible, dude.
Okay, let's not get carried away. It's terrible. Social media is for hyenas and savages, right? Like that's what it is. It's for hyenas and savages. Oak State James for $5. Monty and Jake are not stupid. Wow.
Wow, dude.
They are right 95% of the time, but we're 100% on Oak State.
Yeah, no duh.
I watch so I can learn more about college sports. Keep up the good work, guys. I appreciate it. $2 from Ulysses. Here's one of these as a token of goodwill. Well, I appreciate that.
Oh, so you're trying to buy your way back in. Okay.
And listen, Ulysses and everybody else, I don't care if you disagree with us. Name calling and insulting people, and that's just never going to fly here. And I appreciate the $2, dude. It's not personal. I don't dislike you. We've never met. Even though Jake said if I talk, never mind. The point is, Ulysses, I don't dislike you. And I appreciate you chipping in $2 to the show today, like Oak State James.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of cake, but chipping in is cool.
I just don't believe in insulting people. I think it is wrong. Monty is good on sports, just not other stuff. Well, again, Eric is a hardcore MAGA guy.
You're not running from this one, dude.
What did I tell you on Twitter? Eric got into me on Twitter the other day because I think I saw you responded. I can't remember. I tweeted because they bomb Iran. We bombed Iran. And President Trump said, this is how we're going to bring peace. It's time for peace now. And I said, if you think this brings peace, you don't understand war. And what immediately happened? They continued bombing each other and Qatar. Now, did they really bomb Qatar? And then now we know that the bombing on Iran from the U.S. completely missed the target. Like it didn't decimate them, but I don't know what I'm talking about, which is fine. It's fine. Rock and Rant. Ace looks like he's going to a polo party during a film to get out and hasn't figured out what's next.
I'm just saying, dude, it matters.
Oh my God. Yeah. Zupo. Just seen somebody got banned at an MLB park after taunting Marte from Arizona's late mother. Yeah. And the White Sox completely apologized. And White Sox fans, I'm from Chicago. If you're new to the show, you probably don't know this. I'm from Chicago. I'm a passionate Chicago fan. White Sox fans are historically the embarrassment of Chicago sports. They jumped on the field and beat the crap out of an umpire for an unknown reason, a father and a son. That's who we've seen the White Sox fans to be. Ketel Marte, the second baseman / shortstop star of the Arizona Diamondbacks, is sobbing essentially on the mound in Chicago because some jackwagon made heinous comments about his now deceased mother. So they banned that cat from every major league ballpark in the country. And I say, good on you. Good on you. Monty actually good on sports and other stuff because facts matter is what it is. Is what it is. GTI Brandon. Oh boy. Jake's kindred spirit. Jake drives a Golf R, by the way. Ace looks like he's about to go on a classic British fox hunt in the country.
Dude.
Okay, you want to play the game? Hey, guys, why do you think Ace Bailey dressed like that?
Dude. I don't even, bro.
That's the untrained eye.
What are we doing, bro? Like,
Ace?
I don't know. I don't know if
dude, how hard is it?
I don't know.
How hard is it to just put a suit on?
Ace?
Like,
Ace? He's taken a lot of shots on social media for this. And listen, is it really that bad? Is it really that bad that the problem is he refused to work out, and then when he got on stage, he looks completely different.
Oh, so you mean you put on a regular suit when you were on stage?
Oh, Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey.
tell me it doesn't matter, dude. That matters, and he knew that was wrong. Come on.
He looks totally different on stage. Oh, you guys are going to hate this dude. Now I'm starting to agree with you that he could be a problem if you draft him. Here's Ace Bailey. Load, please. Ace Bailey in the red and black. Oh, wow. He looks normal. He looks normal. And I'm telling you, I think he is almost inarguably the best player in the draft. And I just hope that he doesn't I hope he doesn't lose his mind. And the funny thing is, the inside of his coat is all pictures of his family in Rutgers.
That's cool.
I hope the guy doesn't turn into a perpetual pain in the ass. That's what I'm hoping for, because I think he's worked really hard to get here, and maybe he's just a different cat. And I hope that it doesn't end poorly. BYU football, only girls put their pants in their boots. Is that true?
I don't know.
What about cowboy boots? Rock and Rant. All Ace is missing is the fish tank boots.
Okay.
It's not a normal outfit. Insert multiple horse emojis. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, please don't use a bunch of emojis. You're going to get filtered. Boyd Lake. Is that the dandy thing again? I guess it is. Rock and Rant, did someone let Ace know he's getting drafted by the NBA, not the WNBA?
Don't start, please. Please don't start. I'm not in the mood to talk W today.
Well, no, but why are we insulting a guy for showing his personality? Why?
Because, dude, it's the NBA draft. You don't get to just do whatever the hell you want.
No, you don't. I agree with.
Like, show your personality at the after party. Wear some crazy ass outfit at the after party.
What if In the Pooper for Cooper showed up like this?
I'd have questions. It wouldn't be as big a deal, but I'd have questions. I would have said the same thing. What? A suit wasn't good enough? Like, we all know how much money you made at Duke is Duke.
Duke is
you can't get a nice three-piece suit with some Gucci loafers, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Jeremiah Champion. The Cake King of America. I can't. I
Cake.
He has a wedding plan. He legit. Jeremiah is so rolling. He's got a wedding plan. He's rich.
Want better fucking execution.
And for those of you who don't know, he owns a Lamborghini dealership.
Where's the Italian?
In Palm Beach. And what's another high? He owns a Cullinan, a Rolls Royce dealership as well. On South Beach. So he is
hiring a videographer from what I understand. So, if you need some,
you want to ride in a Cullinan.
Yeah.
You want to ride in an 812.
Yeah.
Right. None of that is true. I love how as soon as the name calling started, a lot of the fans immediately came to y'all's defense. Y'all are a class act, and we appreciate y'all factually reporting on world events. Oh, and sports. Thank you. Appreciate that, Jeremiah. How is your wedding planning going?
Yeah, you haven't really commented on that much. Where are you at in the process? Like
when are you getting married? You're getting married in a couple weeks or something.
Yeah, I thought it was close.
Did someone let Ace know he's getting drafted? Yeah. Yes. All military tuck their pants into their boots. Cody Wood. I bet you would. Never heard that. Never heard that joke before.
Stay hard.
As a Timberwolves fan, ooh. What if I told you, Cody Wood, that the Timberwolves, Lakers, and Celtics are working on a deal that would send the principals would be LeBron, or excuse me, Rudy Gobert, Jaylen Brown, and Austin Reeves, and pieces. And Rudy Gobert would end up in Boston. Jaylen would end up in Los Angeles, and some combination of players and a buttload of draft picks would end up going to Minnesota. What if it was Austin Reeves and Rudy Gobert to Boston? And you just got Dalton Connect, Rui Hachimura and a bunch of draft picks. You can't tell me you wouldn't jump up and down and make that deal today. The cap flexibility you would get. That's interesting. As a Timberwolves fan, there is one in this draft that can help us reach the finals. First time in my life, I wanted more than Western Conference Finals. Well,
as you should.
Get Rudy Gobert off that roster, and you might get that. Ace is a helmet away from looking like a SpaceX astronaut.
Well,
or a Power Ranger. He's much more Power Ranger here if he puts on a red helmet. Or Star Wars, stormtrooper guy.
Yeah.
Remember the red and black? Yeah, the red stormtrooper. He could be that. It's uncomfortable. GTI Brandon, heard Ainge is working on a deal to trade the 5th pick for the 25th and a Buick Century.
Well, again, that would be big game hunting, bro.
It's not a Buick Century. It's a Buick Skylark. Big difference. Skylark's worth more. Zupo, y'all got Gruden clips. He lives like 2 or 3 blocks away from me.
Gruden clips?
John Gruden. I want better execution.
Want
better fucking execution.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love John
Are we clear
Gruden.
on that?
Love John Gruden. Huge Gruden guy. Mark, I think UNLV wants to be anywhere that Boise is not. That could absolutely be true. Midweek Kook. Oh, man, I want the Sonics back, so I care about the draft. Dude, I think everybody deserves the Sonics back. Expand to Seattle and Las Vegas, and let's get on about our lives. Right? would make up for all the draft picks we gave Rudy postseason problems. Have to keep Naz Reid. Have to keep Naz. Big locker room guy. LeBron and Naz are close, though. So I'd be kind of worried if that's part of that deal. I don't know. I've heard so many people have told me, like, hey, this, that, the other. Like, I think the Lakers are willing to trade Austin Reeves if it lands them Jaylen Brown. And if you can get Minnesota in that deal and you can make them whole with second-round picks, or because if Dalton Knecht is on Minnesota, he now is a player that you feel
he's
like
a really good player.
Yeah, I think Dalton Knecht needs to go somewhere where he can run and he can play. And the bigger question is, are the Jazz going to trade Walker Kessler? That to me is a really big question. Rain Man and the glove. Okay. Jeremiah Champion. So the planner is going to call tonight to put final touches on the schedule. Okay.
What are you? Is this a July wedding or what are we doing?
Yeah. When are you getting married?
Yeah.
The wedding is at 3 p.m. Central Time in Lubbock. On July 5th. I'll be in Chicago.
Nice, dude.
How hot is it going to be?
It's going to be sweat your ass off hot.
Lubbock, Texas.
First team all swamp ass.
Weather. So on July 5th, what does thigh chafingly hot mean? Does anybody know what that means? I'm not.
Hey, Jeremiah, are you wearing like an 18-piece suit that you're going to sweat through? Oh,
97 degrees, partly cloudy.
Bro, please tell me this is an inside wedding. Please.
90.
Dude, bro, this has to be an inside wedding.
That's not what we're about.
Let me just put it this way. You're taking a shower before consummation.
Dude,
okay.
Bro. Dude, 97. What's the humidity?
Oof.
Does it say the humidity?
Say. Does not.
Butthole.
Bro.
97?
Oh.
Ulysses is back in for $20. Comment said 2 wasn't enough, so here. Bro,
Hey.
you're good. You're good. I appreciate
listen.
the gas money.
Yes, I appreciate you paying to get back in our good graces, but hang on. I don't want to set a precedent that you can pay your way out of the doghouse in the
You
comment
should
section.
try. You should definitely try.
Keep donating, keep paying us. It'll help you. But the comment section is its own thing.
A couple of Texas State facts. I care for average 24K last year with the Sun Belt slate. Sold out all games with relevant opponents, and our ratings were great. Game ratings were better than P4 Bowl of the day. Oh, hey, that's awesome. All of those are not in dispute. I will just continue to say Texas State's a good university.
Yeah, we've never said Texas State sucks. Not that you're saying we did,
No.
but I'm just saying our take has always been, hey, it's a good ad, but it's not going to move the TV needle.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't suck. They slurp.
Big difference.
Kidding. I'm kidding, Ulysses. Relax. Why are you yelling?
You better check yourself.
Mike Smith, Ulysses is trying to pull a James.
Yeah, seriously.
They texted.
Got the Oak State James just again.
So
strays.
many strays, dude.
Strays.
Strays after strays.
Jeremiah, yeah, I'm going to talk to the wedding planner and see if it's possible we can move inside.
Oh
You're
my God.
outside right now?
Dude. And did he not say it was a 3:00 wedding? Do I remember that correctly in his last comment? Bro.
And as you can see, I'm going through some shit right now.
Bro, are you I'm sorry. Did you guys say to the wedding planner, can you please plan us a wedding where swamp ass is clearly present?
Hey, what'd you guys get for wedding present? Swamp ass.
And just kind of scruff it and play with it when it's wet.
Also, a little thigh chafing. Well, a lot of thigh chafing. The number one gift that keeps on giving, too, is thigh chafing.
Okay. So that's how it's going to be.
I want to move it inside because I ain't
Dude,
trying to die
bro.
at my wedding. Hey, how was your wedding? Well,
Dude.
Jeremiah died. But other than that, I mean, the party
Bro.
after he died, he collapsed and we were like, all right, let's dance. Right? Like, you can... and it's steampunk, so people are going to be dressed heavy. Oh my God,
dude, no.
Hot ass.
Bro, no, this has to be inside. Brother.
No.
Dude, no. No.
Hell no.
Smiles and glory holes.
Dude. Bro, okay, what are you doing for food at your wedding? Are you like wedding cake type situation? What are we doing?
Yeah, Mike Smith. What happened to your back? Oh, it was so hot at my wedding, I slid off the toilet seat.
Dude. Bro.
Oh my God, Jeremiah. You got to keep us updated.
Bro,
on that.
I'm happy you're getting married, but
oh
damn.
my God. You can't do it outside. Not in Lubbock. That's not not good. All right, something else that'll piss you guys off. Anybody see that Shador's on track to win the Cleveland Browns starting job allegedly?
He doesn't know what he's talking about. No
listen.
sources, fake news.
And Shador sucks, and his dad's a dick. Latest reports out of Cleveland.
The land.
Say that Joe Flacco's the presumed starter going into camp, and Shador is number 2 and right on his heels.
Who are you, the New York Giants? Come on.
Reports Pro Football Focus had a report talking about how impressed the Cleveland Browns are with Shador's ability to quickly learn the playbook and the audibles and the calls. And he is supposedly a weight room warrior.
Do you believe?
He has put on a body of weight. And my point in all of this is, what did you expect him to do? Because I think this dude is so motivated to beat every other team that didn't draft him. I think he is so motivated to outperform Tyler Shook and Jackson Dart that I don't think there's any doubt Dylan Gabriel probably never stood a chance. If the best version of Shador shows up at training camp in a couple of weeks, he's done. Like, I think Shador Sanders, and again, wait, hold on 1 second. Again, I can only say it. I think he is the best quarterback that will come out of this draft. Does he realize that potential in Cleveland? I don't know.
It's him or Jackson Dart, dude. And I like Shador's chances.
I think Shador Sanders, because of his accuracy and his mental ability, he's going to be dominant. Is he everybody wants to immediately go to like, oh, Pro Bowler. I have no idea. You have no idea what the rest of the league's going to do, because all Shador can control is his performance. And I think you're going to get the very best out of him week in and week out.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Do you have any doubt that he can be?
Oh, I have no doubt that he can be their number one and can be there a long time. The question is going to be, can the organization put it together? Because Shador's going to put his time in and be ready.
My guess is Joe Flacco starts the season as their quarterback, and then
over-under's week 7 for Shador, I think. You got it.
Or whoever, but I think it'll be Shador.
Yeah, I just think that Shedeur is a better talent and a more capable guy than Dylan Gabriel or Kenny Pickett. And I think that the Browns were really smart to bring Joe in and be the guy, be the number one for the first 6-7 weeks and go from there.
Oh, boy. Now, you guys know member comments get read on this show first. You got to be a member to have a member comment.
Right.
So when I say Calford gifted 20 Monty Show membership.
Hey, Monty.
Okay, let's see who
jump on it.
Let's see who jump on it. Relax, this is a family show.
Yeah,
The biggest load that we've seen.
Stop it. That drop is going to live forever.
The biggest load that we've seen.
Take him out.
Jeff Sudbeck, good to see you, my friend.
Hey, Jeff.
Stratego.
Okay.
Dakota Sainsbury. Gator MFer.
Well, okay.
Biker Girls Parody Pit Stop.
Minute parade.
Mark Woods, Unicorn Power, Kaufman, Lily Howard, Jason Pearson, 2006 Pontiac Aztec.
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's go.
Vegas Gunner, Replica, Ray C, Travis, Ronan. Great movie, Ronan. Let's go, Ronan. Oh, probably too much. Ryan Dooley, back in the membership. Axe Kaz, Patrick Flood, Anthony Zappin. All picked up memberships.
Yeah.
From
I want the best people.
You're gonna get us killed. All picked up memberships from Calford. Calford, good to see you, dude.
Yeah, nice job, bro.
Appreciate you supporting the show. Mike Smith, Biker Girl's name got me all bricked up.
Stay hard.
Well, listen.
Macaque.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
He said
Hiscock.
I'm so bricked up right now.
Yeah, dude. 100%, bro. 100%, dude.
I'm so bricked up right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Oh, God, that is so good. That is so
I just want to thank you all.
So good. Jeremiah Champion, another damn good show today. I appreciate you, man. Don't die at your wedding. Flacco will have a minor injury that allows Sanders to get time.
Yeah, let me help you because we're on video and you're not. A minor injury.
Hey, coach, what's wrong with Joe Flacco? Labial regional injury that we can't really discuss because of HIPAA. Yeah, it's HIPAA.
Yeah.
Right. And stuff.
I think that's HIPAA.
Yeah. Speaking of Dak, let's.
Okay, we'll do it real quick.
I want you guys. I want you to thank me in the comments section. I want you to acknowledge the sheer awesomeness that I'm about to put on your screen. And
Bet you weren't expecting this one.
I'm going to start with a sorta and then finish it off. Well, that came out wrong. I'm going to show you two images. I'm going to show you two images and you tell me which one you like best, because the dichotomy of the Daconation of this show that's about to happen.
Macaque.
It is okay.
Are we package gazing again, or what's the deal?
Well, here's the first pick.
Damn.
Okay, that's Dak and his gal. Now, this second pick, I think, is far better. It's just Dak's girl. It's just Dak's girl. Which
The
I
biggest
think
load that we've seen.
it's way better. way better.
Bro.
This one or this one?
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip.
Yeah, can you put your tongue away, Dak? Because I like this one a lot better.
Smiles and glory holes.
But truth be told, I said goddamn.
Present.
I mean,
dude, bro.
Well, hello there.
So bricked up right now.
Hello there, friends. Dak Prescott is living right on and off the field.
Well, Monty, Dak throws a ton of interceptions with his pigskin on the field, but off the field, this guy's throwing bombs down the seam.
You know, well, Chewy, that's a good point. I think you mean Joe Flacco sprained his fallopian tubes. Okay.
All right.
I don't know, Eric, but I need football season to start yesterday. It's like 59 days or something like
we're
that.
in the worst time of the year right now. It's terrible.
Member now. Ball knower, Gator MFers.
Ball knower. Bro.
Lie detector test determined.
That's a lie. You know. Mapes, is that Luca's mom? No. Baby needs milk. Okay.
Bro, you did not just make a baby batter reference, bro.
The biggest load that we've seen.
Bro, stop.
Oh,
big pontiff.
The less Dak is seen, the better. Cowboy Nation.
Facts. Facts, bro. Facts.
A or B? A or A?
Hot ass.
Oh, wait, I got to get let's not undersell the lead here. Take the comment off.
Yeah, boy.
A or B? A? I'm a big Dak. I've always been a big supporter of Dak on this show.
Yeah.
Didn't the Lions beat him 47-9? I believe they did.
Yeah, but he's winning in the offseason, bro.
Dak got an appointment for motorboating later. I believe he does.
Dude.
I believe he does. Keep her away from the MILF hunter. Exactly right.
Seriously.
Exactly right. I'm starting to wonder if those times he said he hurt his hip thruster, it was actually her. I hope it was.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
I hope it was.
Oh, guilty as charged, Monty.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the WAGs which is wives and girlfriends. most golf WAGs. And if you ask Jake who his favorite golf WAG is, well, it's Bryson DeChambeau's package. Because Jake's a huge fan of this picture of Bryson.
The biggest load that we've seen.
And I'm more of a Rory guy.
Right. Big driver there,
and less of a Colin Morikawa guy.
Right.
Present.
And very much less of a Bill Belichick guy.
Well, Monty, he's got glass cutters on the Ring doorbell. How could you not like it?
But glass cutters be hot damn. Wait, let me get rid of the hot damn.
Or D.
I said hot damn.
Present.
My word.
Yeah, bro.
Dak, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh my.
And how many of you hyenas have already gone to her Instagram?
Yeah, seriously. You guys are like 8 pages deep on her Instagram, bro.
Having fun is the name of the game.
Ooh, the San Antonio Spurs are trading the number 38 pick in the draft tonight.
Nobody cares.
To the Indiana Pacers for a future second-round pick.
Nobody cares.
What an idiot.
They're still focused on the picture.
We have our first.
Yeah.
We have our first trade.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going to happen tonight, dude. I don't
either. Cody Wood, no pun intended.
Okay, dude. See, you got to change your name, bro. You're just going to go by Wood.
Yeah, that's it now.
Yeah, come on.
Zupo, Dak going to get a mononucleosis and go on the IR, then Joe Milton going to pull a Tom Brady and never look back. Bro,
Here I am.
I had the makeout disease in high school, and it was the worst thing ever. Did you ever get mono? I don't think you did.
No.
Dude, I had mono in high school.
Nah, I'm fine.
I was dead for like weeks.
By the way, did you guys, totally off topic, I meant to bring this up. Did you guys see the Liver King got arrested?
For going after Joe Rogan.
For going after Joe Rogan, dude.
Okay, first of all, the Liver King, I believe, in my opinion, is not natural. It's come out that...
Yeah, he had to admit that he was on roids. Yeah.
It wasn't all eating cow liver.
Yeah, that's yeah.
The video, I think, has been deleted. If you just Twitter or Google search Liver King Joe Rogan, dude, the Liver King looks legitimately crazy. And if I were Joe Rogan, I'd have gone to the cops too.
Yeah.
Because that was some scary looking video stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show. You can find Jake at SLC Jake, which is where you can bitch and moan about Prize Picks. Last night was ugly.
Damn.
Paige Beckers, I am never picking you again on Prize Picks.
Can I not just get another Angel Reese line, like, please?
Tonight it's discount dogs. You open up the Prize Picks app, they give you 5 MLB discounts. And I am here.
Okay, well, the Ohtani one's a gimme.
The Ohtani one is a gimme.
Come on.
But I am here for it. Okay, Zach Wheeler, 5 pitcher strikeouts, more. Ohtani, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, more. I think those two. Oh, you can only pick one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ohtani dog. I'm taking Logan Webb for more than 6 strikeouts versus Miami. And then I'm gonna take.
You're not taking Yamamoto.
No, I don't trust him, dude. I really. I mean, it's Colorado, but he's not been. He's inconsistent, I guess.
I think you have to take Shohei for a home run. So I am going. Well, either one. I mean, either one. Wheeler with 5 strikeouts against Houston.
Yeah, I went Logan Webb against Miami. I felt better about that.
Okay, I'll go Shohei discounted to a 1 hits, runs, RBIs.
Yeah.
Ooh, these are some. Zach Wheeler. I really like Zach Wheeler a lot. Ooh, that's tough, dude. Pitcher strikeouts. I'm going to go more pitcher strikeouts.
I'm going Ohtani, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs on the dog. Logan Webb, more than 6 Ks. And Aaron Judge for more than 2.5 bases against Cincinnati. That game's already happening.
Okay.
20 to win 140 on the Demon.
I think I have to, you guys, I have to be a masochist.
Dude.
Got to take one of the Maiar and We the Beloveds. The Chicago Cubs.
Well, I don't know that you want to take PCA considering you can't count how many outs there are. So,
did you guys see that shit last night?
It's embarrassing, bro.
Pete Crow Armstrong, the center fielder for my beloved. Ranges back, makes a nice catch. There were only 1 out. He thought there were 2. The Cardinals end up scoring a run. The Cubs lose by, you guessed it, 1 run. And it's just where this team has been. And now, and I know I'm not allowed to talk about it, but now, now you're trying to find out. Pete Crow Armstrong, I think, is going to go large, bro. I'm going Demon. More than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
Demon.
20 to win 190. 20 to win 190. Let's go. Pete Crow Armstrong is my guy. 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
There you go.
The Cubs have got to make a deal, you guys. And this is my prize picking my nose problem. Download the app. Use the promo code Monty, M-O-N-T-Y. Monty, you deposit $5. They'll give you $50 more in plays in picks for free. Instantly. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more instantly. And it is, I think it is, I love daily fantasy. I think you guys know that. The Cubs routinely stomp on my nuts. Like,
yeah.
Dude, Greg and I were texting last night. If it's Walker Buehler, I'm going to lose my mind. Sandy Alcantara, apparently, and if you're a baseball fan, before we start ripping baby boomers, let me talk about the Cubs for a second. Sandy Alcantara is available from Miami. Jed Hoyer, according to multiple MLB insiders, has already been negotiating and wants a trade done by Sunday. I'm going to Chicago a week from now. I'm like, hell yeah, let me see Sandy pitch. I'll go across the street to Wrigleyville Sports. I'll make a Muller effing custom Alcantara jersey. Let's go. Right? Like, I'm here for it. And I am of the belief that Alcantara is a guy that has great stuff. His numbers are absolutely tragically garbo this year. 4-8, 6.69 ERA on a 1.46 whip on 15 starts.
Yeah.
Is terrible. But do you want Alcantara or do you want Walker Buehler or Eflin or any of these other POSs? Give me Sandy Alcantara, and if the guy is a ball of nothingness, great. We went and we got the best pitcher available. But at least you're the Chicago MFing Cubs. Go get Sandy Alcantara. Go and get me Nolan Arenado. Go get Nolan Arenado. That's what should be happening. And unfortunately, it's not what we're going to get. You're not going to get Sandy Alcantara won the 2022 Cy Young Award. And in that year, he was 14-9. He had a 2.28 and a 0.98. The guy was a stud. I am telling you, that dude is still in there, but the Miami Marlins are terrible. So we have no idea. We have no idea if it's him or if it's the Marlins. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. And I look at their statistics. 32-45, they've given up 398 runs. Only worse than the Diamondbacks, Rockies, and Nationals. They're one of the worst defenses and pitching staffs in baseball. Give me Sandy Alcantara, and let's go about our business. Right? Pistons have to wait for tomorrow night, unfortunately. Skubal for Cy Young. He's been amazing. Tigers are in a good place. Better than the Rockies, said every team in baseball. Ian Happ homer. Did he hit a home run? Have we started already? Yes, Ian Happ hit a home run. Turn on the goddamn Cubs game.
Yeah, the NBA draft is on. That's more important, you know.
I'm going to choke you out. Ian Happ home run. And this is here we go with Eric Fetty for St. Louis. 3-6, 3.55 ERA. The Cubs can rake. And I'm here for it. And you're already falling behind Kyle Tucker. I'm like, let's go. I love it. Tonight is the night where we need Matthew Boyd to be the guy. He's got to own the St. Louis Cardinals tonight because the streak's got to stop here. Cubbies need a third baseman. JT is 77 and Shaw just ain't ready. I agree. Justin Turner's not a Major League Baseball player anymore. He's not. He just isn't. The Miami Marlins rip my heart out every 3 years after blowing up the next young core of future superstars. Zupo, I agree 100%. And I say the Cubs take advantage. All right, before we get out of here on a Wednesday, did your parents and grandparents ruin your life? Feels like a harsh question. There is an interesting movement in the world where Gen Xers, that'd be me, Gen Xers feel like their parents and grandparents, and specifically baby boomers, did not do much to help us. In my situation, that's absolutely true, right? I think my wife's parents and grandparents, my wife's grandparents were pretty interesting folks. But did my wife's parents and grandparents make her the person she is today? I would say no. My wife's amazing, and she built her life and who she is and what she's about. She did a lot of that hard work on her own. And I think, like my generation, we helped our kids too much. We handed them everything. You don't feel good? Stay home from school today. You don't have to get a job. Go play baseball, right? Like the easy button that we made life for our kids in high school was probably too much. But I tend to lean in the direction of the boomer generation, I think, is too dismissive and too negative about the outlook of what their kids wanted to do. And it was, you're going to college because that's what everybody does. You're going into debt because that's what everybody does. My wife went into debt, paid student loans. Now she's paid them off. She busted her ass. Great career, paid off her student loans.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there was this time in the 80s and 90s where I didn't want to go to college. And man, I got persecuted for that in my family on a daily basis.
Right.
And went to junior college. I'll be honest with you. I was working in radio and playing baseball with my guys. Like, I lived in a house with a bunch of baseball players. I worked at places like Foot Locker, Olive Garden. Did I have direction? Not really. That's why I had a kid when I was 20 years old. But was my life destroyed and ruined? Clearly not. Clearly not. And I just feel like boomers had this idea that if you don't do it my way, you're not doing it at all. And I think a lot of people my age feel like that. And I would imagine as a millennial, I don't know if you agree, did we do too much for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's this, this balance that probably wasn't found. Like, yeah, you probably did too much for us, but I also think that there's just a weird dynamic where, like the good news for you guys with your parents was, the biggest thing that happened to you guys was obviously the housing crash, right? I mean,
yep.
I think that's the biggest event in your younger years that happened to your generation that you had to deal with.
Yes.
For millennials, I think the story that is written about us so far is that, yeah, we were given too much. So we haven't worked hard, or we haven't, certainly taken a traditional path. And compounding that problem of a generation that doesn't work hard is all these things that we have to quote unquote deal with, the pandemic, 9/11, our parents went through the housing crash, like, just like all this stuff that's happened. And so, I don't think that the problems millennials have are so much because of our parents damaging us. I think that to me, it's always been easier to say, well, hey, your parents gave you a lot when you were younger. You're going to have a couple of hard years, but if you wanted to figure out what life was actually about, you could, right? Like, you had that choice. Whereas like your parents, baby boomers, were like, no, here's the bird. You're doing it whether you want to or not, and we don't really care what you think. That's a different sort of thing to have to deal with. So I just feel like millennials have probably compounded a smaller hurdle that we were given, if you want to call it a hurdle, I guess, like a smaller issue, and made it worse than it needed to be. And I also think there are more millennials that are successful and doing well than the world probably wants to talk about. I think there are a good bit of millennials that are doing well. And
is there, though, do you think, what percentage? Who's thriving in the millennial generation?
10 to 15% of the generation, I think, is doing well. Has made the decision to.
Is that a good percentage?
Well,
a bad
clearly
percentage?
It's a bad percentage, right? I mean, 10 out of 100% is bad. That's 1 out of 100. Like, that's not good, right? Or 10 out of 100. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that the beautiful thing for the millennial generation is when the light bulb turns on, there's still opportunity. And I think the real hard part that's not getting talked about is that Gen Z is now taking the whole, hey, get rich on the internet thing too far. And they're choosing to go against what their millennial parents are telling them and not doing anything to build a foundation before chasing the internet success. So all we hear about is, oh, well, she did OF, or he tried this or that, and it flamed out. Now they're broke and they can't go back to high school. Like, there's all these horror stories. So I just think it's
I would agree,
this weird dynamic. But the reality of the situation is I'll still maintain, if you want to make something of it, you can. If you want to, get out of your situation, or you can. It's just a matter of how long it will take.
But you have to go and do it.
Yeah.
And I think there is a belief in Gen Z's. I think millennials are aged out of it, but I think there's a belief in Gen Zers that you should be handed some things, and I just don't think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
As a Gen Xer who handed my millennial son too many things, trust me when I say it's not the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a big problem in our country now, because I think it's hard now. We've gone through this period where, like, you look at real estate and you look at the issues that we have buying homes. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you fix the real estate issues in this country, because it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, and it's not by making federal, loan agencies accept crypto. That's not, or
well, the number one thing
consider,
people say is making the Fed drop the rate and offer 0% mortgages. That's not going to fix the housing market, because what's going to happen?
Defaults.
Number one, defaults, but number two, prices are going to go up. They're not going to go down. If you add 0% mortgage interest rates, which I heard today, Again, somebody on Fox News spouting, well, we need an 18-month moratorium on interest rates and we need to cut new mortgages to zero. You're out of your mind. Even if it's just first-time home buyers, you're out of your mind. If you cut interest rates to zero for first-time home buyers, what's going to happen to home costs? It's going to go way up.
More people are in the market.
It's going to go way, way, way up. You cannot do that. And then, frankly, all you're doing is, because I've heard this, well, you have first 5 years of your mortgage, it's 0%. What happens on the 6th year? What happens? Well, what happens is they wind up on a balloon. How do you not catch them?
Yeah, who the hell is playing first base?
Michael Busch, who's been one of the best players the Cubs have had all year, just dropped a easy throw. I give up. Anyway, It's not making things easier. It's not unnecessarily dropping interest rates. That's never good for anybody. We have to find a way, and I don't know what that way is, but we have to find a way to build new start affordable housing.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the story in Palm Beach? Somebody with a hell of a lot of money is buying up plots of land in Palm Beach, oceanfront, plots of land. And they're fighting with John Bon Jovi because Bon Jovi won't sell his home. And there's a billionaire who, through a trust, is buying all these homes. And John Bon Jovi won't sell his home. That's the people that are buying homes and making more millions of dollars. It's not Ken and Jenny who are trying to buy their starter home, because they're priced out of the market. And I don't know how you fix that. I really don't know how you fix that. And I think making money more affordable is not the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. Big Pontiff, world has changed a lot. Of jobs like stockbrokers aren't needed anymore. How about recruiters? You want a job that AI is really taken over? How about recruiting? How many recruiters are unemployed right now? A lot. With people allowed to self-trade, kids today don't have any idea what to be when they grow up. I think it's a huge question. Wasikowski, I agree, Jake. Millennials haven't had a time to breathe since 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very difficult. I don't disagree with that at all. And you look at the jobs that are readily available. Are Gen Xers or Gen Zers willing to go in, work in an Amazon warehouse, work in a fast food gig?
No.
And we're going to go through this period, and I hope Gen Zers are ready. I think this is the Joe Rogan, tough times make tough people. And we're starting that cycle now where we're going to have some tough times because the economy is not bad. The labor market's not bad. But cost of goods are still sky high because we as Americans were willing to pay it when they were artificially inflated in the pandemic. When the pandemic started, 2018 or whatever, we were willing to pay exorbitant prices for everything. Right? We were willing to do it. And those prices have not come down. They've not come down. And they're not going to come down. You still look at the cost of eggs, and we talked about this at the election time that, as much as Donald Trump wants to talk about cutting prices in half, he doesn't have the ability to do that. He doesn't have the ability to make retailers bring their pricing down because we as Americans are willing to pay the higher price. So why would egg retailers bring their eggs down? They're not gonna. And so we now are going to go through this period of difficult times. And I don't know how long that's going to last if you're a Gen Zer, because I think it's going to last a while. It is.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Did you see AB declared bankruptcy, went from football grade to a statistic? He is mentally ill. Isn't he on a attempted murder rap?
Yeah, and he's overseas. Left the country. Allegedly.
He is not, in my opinion, he's not well. He is not well. Anyway, I think it's an interesting conversation about how do you How do you fix like home buying is a big thing. And you look at this thing where people just expect us to, like, I have a 3% mortgage. How many millennials? Jake's even said this to me, like, when are we going to get back to 3? We're never getting back to 3. You don't want it to be a 3.
Yeah, the problem is not everyone focuses on the percentage. It's not the percentage, it's the price. 5% on $500,000 on a $300,000 house is not good. Like, I'm not paying 5% for a $300,000 house that's listed at $500,000. I'm not doing that. And that's the issue, is that everyone and their mom is overpricing their house, and because they can get away with it. So eventually something has to happen to force people to sell. That's what you have to fix. You have to make it so sellers have a sense of urgency to sell their property. And I don't know how you do that.
I think the best thing we can do for Gen Z is get inflation to 2%. And if we can be consistently 2% at inflation, we can keep the cost of money lower. The job market will be fine. The retail market will be fine. Consumer confidence will be fine. But I think it's going to be a real challenge. It is going to be a real challenge to see how that works. Like, I have real fear for your kids. I have real fear for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And
we'll see.
What year do you think you buy a house? If you had to guess right now.
It's going to be a minute, trying to build a business, trying to, I'm just not the guy that's going to force it. I would rather spend my time building a business, getting to a place where, you're debt free, you've got a lot of income, and you have options. I think that's where people get in trouble is they say, oh, well, we got to have a house. We got to have a house, which I understand. But I just think that if you force it and you do $500,000 on a $300,000 house with the higher percentage, eventually it's going to turn. Yeah. Eventually it will happen.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it is. It's going to be scary. 2 things you need to look at. Just look at what if and when oil supply changes, because it has not changed, which is why I think we're still at $65 a barrel. And just keep an eye on the inflation number, because those 2 things are very closely tied, and we'll see. All right. Enjoy the NBA draft. It starts here in a matter of moments. Enjoy that. Congratulations to Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. Jazz better not screw it up. We'll react to it tomorrow. Always good to see you guys. Appreciate you being here. As always, we're presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.